astral they do fly. Onward through the astral they do fly, while squidlings tend their trusty nautiloid. Pilgrims of the wild space they defend, and empires of star-bound tyrants they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart, they'll fight their way back to the heart of Orel. By forces they do not know they are heard. By forces they do not know they are watched. Oh, the lonesome cry of eldritch beasts from Rock of Brawl to halt the ceaseless winter. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. It's cold in the starways tonight. Yes, it's cold in the starways tonight. We need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the astral they do fly. Onward through the astral they do fly, while squidlings tend their trusty nautiloid. Pilgrims of the wild space they defend, and empires of star-bound tyrants they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart, they'll fight their way back to the heart of Orel.
Welcome back, everybody, to Everybody's a Mimic. We are an actual play 5th edition webcast, currently jamming through space on Spelljammer as we are dealing with some issues affecting our world. We are joined today by 3 of our cast members. Who is up first?
You.
I guess, yeah, that's right. I'm a 4th cast member. I am Corey, the Dungeon Master, and I will be playing the people that you will hear that are not also on this stream. That's a pretty good way of describing it. Who's up next?
I am Carson. I am playing Bitte and Delnadre, the currently angsty, usually lovable Goliath Ranger.
Yeah, very angsty. You got some stuff boiling up inside you, don't you?
Oh yeah, way deep up in there.
Yeah. Deep-seated issues. All right, who is next?
All right, I'll just go. I'm Ben. I'm playing Levi Corvallis. Now recently healed, the barbarian / fighter, and he's just realized that he can drink again. So welcome back alcohol.
Yeah. It's the best way to celebrate massive internal surgeries is to drink.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, honestly, like really, when you get the opportunity to get it back again, you gotta imbibe yourself. All right, that leaves our last character.
That's me. I'm Blake. I play Delnadre Mirakas, and I have the greatest willpower out of everyone in the group. I outlasted you all, and therefore I'm the winner.
You did. Yes, we've got our silence, awkward silences out of the way, and we are here to get started. So, if you had joined us last time, or if you're watching us on YouTube, where we stream and upload our videos into the live section now, we had just arrived at the Rock of Brawl in the docks after that close encounter with the derelict Nautiloid ship. Pretty tough stuff, right, guys?
Oh yes. Oh yes. It was some bullshit. I did not think Beta was making it that way.
Yeah, it was a tough call. Bita, you are, besides already having that anger, but we talked about earlier, like just kind of just, you've seen your world be potentially or in the process of being destroyed. You have seen these elves draw out some deep feelings from you, and then you suffer this psychic torment from those Surlons that unfortunately fell prey to. What is now, as we kind of just described at the end of last session, the party has come off these docks. You have approached one of the many bars, I believe, with Levi leading the way. You approached the absolute closest bar and sat down. It's just a little sailor's shack. It is a barkeep that sells random stuff, just general goods, along with some bottled beers. And there's two there behind the counter. There's a series of just tables and chairs laid out. Levi, you're sitting down. Delnadre, you're sitting down, and somebody kind of just comes up and takes your order real quick. This whole time, Bitte, what are you doing? Rosemary is also there. Sorry.
Yeah, so Beta watching everyone like gravitate towards the first bar and seeing them be a little bit giddy or excited about getting to relax is just putting Beta in a more and more sour mood. So he's just kind of I mean, I feel like Beta wears like mostly a blank expression because he spends most of the time with his face covered anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So he doesn't emote to convey emotion most of the time. And so he's still like he's just kind of blank and silent as he watches them get their drinks and whatnot.
Okay. Levi, Delnadre, you along with Rosemary are approaching. Do you find a seat at the bar? Do you find a seat at a table? They typically seat between 4 to 5, so there's some empty chairs if you all chose to sit at a table.
I think once the order was passed, Levi would sort of just gesture to a table and then go have a seat. But I think his plan is to have a drink, maybe two, at this establishment. See if there's anybody to talk to get information, and then sort of make his way a little bit further into the city, having a drink here and there as he goes.
Okay. Yeah, you're just kind of walking along and talking and getting to know the place. I get that.
Yeah, like a little bar crawl.
Yeah. What level of drinks are you, enjoying? Like, are you more looking for just whatever is more effective? Do you, are you looking for the good stuff? Are you doing beer? Are you doing hard liquor? What kind of things? Yeah, I mentioned everything here is like prepackaged. So You know, they're
Yeah,
not.
Levi's a big mead guy, so if there's like
Mhm.
prepackaged mead, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think he'd go for like a strong ale.
Hmm. Okay. There's definitely mead, and they just crack it open. It's bottled. Uh, Barkeeper tells you something about it. It's bottled, here locally, but from what you've seen, even on your approach in, doesn't look like too many options or a great place for bees. And Delnadre, what kind of drink are you getting? What level? What expectations do you have right now?
I want to try the mead and see how it compares to good mead.
Okay. Do you share good mead stories as the barkeepers talking about their locally bottled mead?
No, I just want to compare. I want to see how the people in space do their mead and see if they're wrong.
Yeah, we got to test out the space bees,
All right. So you grab you both have some mead. Rosemary follows along as well. She actually orders two because she's just very excited. It's just kind of like she has this like I want to enjoy the new city. She's understanding that there's a task to do, but kind of just wants to hit this now and then start drinking water as well. So she gets two bottles of mead and one little flagon of water. So you all sit down at a table close to or far away from the bar.
I think that depends on like what the patrons look like. Does it seem like there are patrons that are sticking around that seem like they may be approachable? Is this more of like
This is
small groups of friends come, they sit, they drink, they leave?
so you're kind of early into how long you've been at this one location, but you've
Right.
already seen people come and go. Some of them grab their drink and then leave immediately. Some of them grab their drink, buy some gear, get it prepped, sit for a little bit. From what you're kind of telling just by like the way each of these little groups are set up. It largely is sailors, and it's not really there's not like a lot of tables that only have one person at them. No, I mean, it's not a place for people to drink alone. It seems to be a place to facilitate coming and going with a drink, while these sailors are getting ready to board their ships and leave, or getting off their ships and just kind of getting things settled before they get it further into the city. Um, there are a couple of people you could, given the size of your party, sit down with, assuming that Bitte is still kind of just standing in the background. Bitte, would you, knowing that you kind of have the task of finding this GIF, and based on what you had described, kind of to me about what you want to do, are you going to be sitting down with the group and enjoying at least to just kind of even brood together, or are you kind of just straight to business?
I think pizza probably sits down initially, just just like out of habit, and then like when the first drink comes, he will probably it'll probably just kind of get to be a bit much for him, and he'll uh just gulp down half of what's placed in front of him, and then just kind of knock over the rest and
Okay.
go head out into the city, trusting that he'll be able to find the group of anachronistic newcomers.
Okay. All right. So we'll start from there then. You are all sitting down at the table because Bitte's with you. There wasn't any table you could have joined people that are already there, so you all are talking together a little bit as you get your drink and start to discuss how it compares to good meat. What kind of roles are you? We're gonna do a roll here on, I guess, just kind of how you are taking this comparison process. Are you sipping it lightly and really tasting the notes of the honey and how it's been aged and fermented? Are you drinking it and feeling more of how it hits you and how it makes you feel and how it sits in your stomach? And whoever wants to go first, tell me what you want to do, and we'll roll a check. And for Rosemary, we're just gonna do con.
I think for Levi, he'd be looking if he and Delnadre are talking about the differences. He'd be looking at like how it hits the palate, like the strength of it initially, and then like how it feels going down, like whether it gives you that burn or whether it's smooth, and just like the comparisons in that light.
Okay. Roll me a con check. Sorry, not a save.
Not a con save, a constitution check.
Yep.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah. Excellent. You find that the mead is absolutely no comparison. Not even in the slightest. In fact, upon the first sip, and Delnadre, if you want to kind of, before I get too far into this, Delnadre, explain to me how you are comparing it without making a check.
So I'm drinking the mead and seeing if it tastes good.
Just the taste.
Incredible.
I'm surprised. I thought as a person that came from like high-end merchant circles, you would have a fine appreciation for the,
We deal in textiles, sir.
All right, fair enough. So you taste it, it does not taste good. It doesn't even taste like meat. In fact, roll me perception, Delnadre. Okay. You look around, and as far as you can tell, you don't see anybody drinking the mead. So Ben, this mead, it goes in your mouth. You're just kind of expecting what you get, that feeling you get from good mead, and it is just, it's alcohol, sure, but I don't think it was used with honey. Some kind of just, you can feel this, the fakeness and everything, an artificial attempt to reach that flavoring. Bitte, you knocked it back and downed it. How do you feel after this? Honestly, that kind of like half disgusting drink that you just drank half of in a, or did you stop yourself when you tasted it?
Pizza's probably just like that fits.
Fits. Yeah.
Like the when you're having a bad day and something else is bad or goes bad, and you're just like yes, there's like almost a satisfaction of like, yeah, that's what it makes sense for it to be.
Yeah. Is that a tipping point for you? Does this cause Bitte to walk away
I mean,
and go search for the tavern?
I think he was already in the process, but yeah.
Yeah.
It further solidifies it.
Okay. So you stand up. What is your process when you're trying to search for this tavern? Are you going to ask local, people, ask around for recommendations, or are you kind of just going to wander around until you find something?
So I think first, I think Beta's initial instinct is, like anywhere, is to like try and find like a higher vantage point or somewhere, some ability or place that he can survey the town from, and then afterwards he would probably briefly like try and see if there's a way he could find the GIF. Or
would you ask people that you're searching for the person, or would you kind of just try to wander around until because you want to get to a higher vantage point? So you are currently in what is called the low city here in let me go bring these two token for y'all. So there's the low city, the middle city, and the high city. I mean, you're at the docks right now, but you would be entering into the low city to kind of take a look around. You can go straight up, straight to the middle city and look back down. You can find it's going to be very understandable that as you approach higher levels of this rock, you are going to interact with more and more, or more expensive goods, more quality gear, more costly lodgings.
B2 would probably keep to the low city. I feel like let me roll an insight check for him actually, because this is like me thinking about how I would build an underground resistance, and not necessarily how
How beat it?
how
Ooh.
how the hermit would. Yeah, so Beats gonna be like Beats gonna think about how, you know, he's never really had anything, but now everything that's not on his back is potentially gone. Like, that's not going to be rich people. That's not going to be a rich people experience. This is going to be the down and out. So he's going to stick to the low city, and
Mhm.
he's going to try and find either like word of the Griffin. Is it Griff or GIF?
It's GIF. GIFF.
Word of the GIF himself, or word or sign of the GIF himself, or just places that seem like they would be against like the astral elves of like
Okay.
oh, this like there's like a clear vibe of animosity here. There's some kind of iconography that's like marred or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Are
so he's
you okay? So, are you trying to find lodging and then the GIF, or the GIF and then lodging? Before I
I
answer.
think he's gonna briefly look for the GIF, and then once he's probably after like an hour and a half, he would
Okay.
be like, I'm just going to find a place where I can sleep,
It,
and I will
yeah.
locate object on red berets when
Okay,
I
so
wake
it
up.
doesn't take you long to follow the stream of gifts that walk around you. It's a very diverse asteroid city because it's Spelljammer and it's outside of Toro. So you're going to see, you know, you're going to see kind of familiar races and very foreign races as well. But it's kind of a mix. And there is a local neighborhood called the Gift Town. So just by following a general description of what a GIF is, and then just following the stream of gifts that seem to be migrating their way towards this way, it takes you about 15 minutes or so to go to the Gift Town. And just for our sake, you can put your characters on the map here. Delnadre, you are both down here. Levi. All right. That's a bit big. And Tansy is okay. Delete that one. All right. So Bitte, you walk and you're going to go find the gift. Now, as Bitte kind of angrily gets up, leaving the party, do you explain where that you're going, or do you kind of just like walk off?
He would probably kind of grumble it to Rosemary.
Okay. All right. So going back to the trio that are sitting at the bar or general store, what are you doing now with this kind of just disgusting mead? What are each of you feeling as you sit there, just kind of? Do you continue? The taste is not mead. It's not great. It is alcohol though, and you did pay for it.
I'm gonna pour mine into Levi's cup.
Levi's going to scowl. He like lowers his voice to a whisper, and he's like, "Delnadre, this is not mead.
Yeah, I can tell.
Why would they lie about this?"
This is probably the best they have.
I think
They
I'll
might not
speak to the
have a
manager.
lot of honey. Okay.
So as you two are talking to each other, two gentlemen kind of just approach and sit down and kind of chuckle. They're chuckling between each other as they look to you and look to the mead and look to the trio of you. Rosemary, however, despite how bad it is, doesn't want to waste the mead and continues to drink her 2 bottles, just slowly sipping it while she just sits there and observes. You can see that she's kind of saddened a little bit by the loss of her of her shrine to Sylvanas that she had on the ship. Now that you're, for the most part, you've left the services of the captain.
I think Levi would turn to these two new gentlemen who just sat down, and he'd be like, "Evening, gentlemen. I see you are politely heckling our choice of drink. Care to explain why?"
Yeah. Well, it's easy to spot a newcomer to the ports when we see them drinking that. There's a reason why the barkeep only says it's bottled here on the Rock of Brawl. I don't know where it comes from, but it's it's
But it's
definitely
not
not
mead,
from
right?
no, it's not. It does not come from a bee's ass.
If honeys have ass, I'm in.
If honeys has ass, this is probably what it tastes like.
Yeah, you're probably right. What do you recommend then?
Well, we recommend the newcomer special. It's a free drink, and he kind of just looks both at the barkeep and he makes a little hand gesture. Barkeep says, marks something on a little tally board that you can see in the back. Pulls out opens up this kind of like hidden ice box from behind the tally board. Pulls out a nice bottle. Pours this rich fluid, not quite as light as water. You can see there's some heft to it, some thickness as it pours out of the bottle.
Yeah, can
Somebody
I roll?
brings-
Can I roll insight on this?
Yeah,
As like,
roll insight.
is this like a funny little haha? Like, welcome newcomer. Here's some like disinfecting alcohol to see if you'll drink it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, roll insight on the barkeep as he's pouring this, or on the two
Not on the
gentlemen who.
barkeep, on the two gentlemen. Like, are they anticipating like a funny haha moment, or like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
All right, hold on. Insight. How was my
1 second.
wisdom so bad? What is this build that I've made for Levi? My goodness. Hey, I'll take that though.
All right. So the the two people who have your idea was like you're looking on whether or not this is gonna be a joke drink, right?
Yeah.
The joke drink. Okay. You can tell that this isn't gonna be a normal drink. This isn't like somebody just trying to buy you a bottle. The way that the barkeep, kind of the way the fact that this person had a special hand signal means one that they're very familiar with this drink, and that they often, but it's not really like an outcome of you wouldn't. Levi isn't feeling that this is gonna be a joke drink, but this is more than just a drink.
Okay. So it's not like they're waiting in anticipation for me to like put it in my mouth and then spit it out in a very comical way.
Yeah, no, like they were just heckling a second ago, and there doesn't seem to be any sort of like they're still jovial and laughing. This
Okay.
is this more seems like a tradition, so to speak.
All right.
Yeah. So somebody brings it over to the table. There's 3 bottles, or 3 glasses. It's deep burgundy, and he's
Burgundy. Nice color.
the two gentlemen kind of just gesture and says, "Trust me, you've never had anything like this."
Is it like, are we talking like whiskey glass type of deal, or is this like a shot glass?
No, this is like a half goblet.
Okay.
Like bigger than a martini glass.
Yeah, okay. All right,
The glasses are very like they're crystal. This is a I wanted to like let me just build up the luxurious moment of this. Like the glasses are almost filled to the brim, just barely. That perfect amount of like they didn't leave anything out for you. They gave you as much as they could without any risk of it falling over.
Okay.
It isn't completely liquid, like watery. As you move it around, it has a gelatinous nature to it, but it still flows out. Not as thick as molasses, but somewhere in between.
Okay. I think Levi would smell it first, sort of get an idea of what this could be, or if it's reminiscent to anything that he's ever had.
Okay, yeah. Roll me history.
Oh, that's another stat that I'm just absolutely great at. Yep.
Let's do no, not with advantage. Yeah, so it reminds you in smell, but not in taste, because you never had the opportunity to enjoy as you were growing up the finer liquids that your father or the admirals might have in their
Yeah,
captain's
definitely
chair.
not. They left me out of all that shit.
It's one of those like this is something that you have on a special occasion. That's what you're getting from the smell. It's rich, it's sweet, it has different levels to its of fruit, but also some sharpness to it as well.
Okay, yeah, I think
Sommelier,
Levi would
so
like encourage the other two to like
you
pick up
take the
their glass,
first sip.
and then he would. Yeah, it's definitely he's looking at it like a sipper. Definitely not like a
Mhm.
shooter or like something that you gulp down. But like
Yeah.
definitely a sipper.
All right.
So he'll take a little sip.
You sip it. It is magnificent on the tongue. It just seems to activate taste buds that you would get when you're eating in a high quality in the I mean, would Levi have at least had to go to dinners where where your admiral was in the presence of royalty?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that, I mean, high quality. This is not it's not a cheap drink. You almost have to fight drinking it down. Not just sipping it, but just continue to just consume it, because as it goes down your throat, it changes into a warm and playful feeling as it just kind of settles in your stomach.
And I think he like studies it with like this almost like a newfound respect, and he looks back at the gentleman. He's like, "Gentlemen, you have great taste. Thank you for the recommendation. Much better than the," and he like does air quotes. He's like, "the mead."
Yes, yes. Well, unfortunately, you only ever get one. That's some high city quality drink right there. But as a very common, I'm trying to think of the word here. Shit. Uh, I'm well known around this place and this establishment. Me and the barkeep go back quite a ways, so I like to keep an eye out for newcomers and just kind of help you out. Like Rock Brawl can be a dangerous place when you don't know where you're going, but it's also a great place to meet some friends. You lot look like you're the adventuring type, just given how diverse you are together, especially your big fella that walked out. There's always a job that can be done for when you have the right people.
Levi smiles, and Corey, I'm going to apologize in advance. He extends his hand and he says, "Levi, nice to meet you. You are?"
Braxton.
Hold on, let me write that down. Write that down. Write that down.
No, there's no S there, sorry. Braxton. And this gentleman here is Lee. Just Lee.
New homies.
So, Delnadre, Levi took the plunge. How are you? What are you doing here?
So Dell was at first like really thrown off by all of this because, well, it went from like, okay, yeah, the Hayes, the new guys with the terrible drink con, yeah, let's go. And then Levi's like, oh, this is actually really good. So now Dell's thrown off and confused, like this isn't the way things are supposed to be. And then after the guy makes the comment being like, oh yeah, we help out new people, I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. So yeah, so he's the unsavory type who's gonna get us drunk and then trick us into like buying a lot of drugs from him or take our money. And now I'm more on even footing. I understand what's going on here, so I will take a nice sip of the alcohol,
Okay.
and I just want to continue to observe this guy's like speech patterns.
Okay.
Like I'm really looking out for like any slang words or things that he might throw around and trying to pick up on context clues on what those could be.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. Hmm. Perception, insight. Roll me some insight.
It'll just
As you're
kind of be
doing.
like a general ongoing thing I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. This is something that you're focusing. I want to know, like, I'm just gonna roll to kind of enforce how well you're picking up on these subtle clues that Braxton and Lee are putting out. Should there be
I
any?
want to try and guess what I'm assuming there's some kind of grift here. So I'm going to try and guess based on how they talk, what line of business they might be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, so as y'all are enjoying some drinks, you're making small talk. Ben, you had some questions that you had put in the Discord that I'm gonna reference here. So, these are some perfect gentlemen to be able to ask those questions you'd wanted to ask. So, you each get one question and we'll answer, and then the whole time, Rosemary, she's gonna be keeping a tight lip, kind of just watching as you two enjoy. She'll ask a question, but she's gonna just be kind of drinking her 3 drinks right now and slowly but quickly becoming absolutely trashed.
Yeah, I think Levi would further the conversation and he'd say, you obviously you identified that we are adventurers. There's no denying that. You mentioned that there's always work to be had. Uh, what kind of work would would a city like this need from adventurers, and where might such work be found?
It's life on the rock is ever changing. People come and go so quickly. The job market is so abundant. I mean, from a smith apprentice to a shopkeeper needing some help, just attracting new customers from a charismatic fellow, to you know the typical smash and grabs. Not that I deal in that, but if that's what you do, I'm sure I could connect you. And of course, there's always money to be had in hunting monsters. That's honestly one of the biggest draw to adventurers like yourself. It's something that you all love to do.
Levi smiles and he says, "Well, hunting monsters is definitely in our wheelhouse." And he like reaches across the table and pushes Delnadre's shoulder. He's like, "We don't do smash and grabs anymore, right, Delnadre?"
Nope, not publicly.
And Levi
Lee,
Levi just
Lee,
smiles. Levi just smiles big, and he's like, in the back of his head, he's like, "Yes, progress."
So Delnadre, you pick up on Lee kind of raising an eyebrow at that last comment. He's the more reserved of the two that have been talking with you both. Braxton is definitely the face of the pair, and Lee is just kind of drinking his drink. They both have a flagon of ale that they've been not flagon but bottled, or bottle, a small cask. Let's go with that. They have little small casks that have a handle that they are drinking. You do learn the location of Xeno Termination Limited, the local monster slaying organization. So, as you both drink and Levi, at what pace are you drinking your the newcomer special? Same for you, Delnadre.
I'm sipping it really slowly. Probably only like one in every third drink I take is actually me swallowing.
Okay. All right. And Levi?
Backwash and Delnadre's drink.
Levi, you are on mute if you're there. But if not, anyways, depending on how Levi is drinking it, I might need like a sleight of hand check from you, Del, as it would become quickly noticeable if Levi is downing his drink comparative to your rather slow approach. Not that yeah, I mean, yeah. So we'll wait on that. But in the meantime, we're gonna kick over to Bitte. You have found Gift Town. It is it's a crazy neighborhood. You are constantly hearing the random shots of a firearm as gifts kind of get into it over some dueling. You see gifts of all wealth, along with class and ability. It's a jam-packed little gift town here on the rock. How are you approaching your search for the red beret? Are you looking around? Are you inquiring?
Has Beta has has Beta been to like this, like, is in Beta's brief times on the Rock of Brawl, uh did he ever come across firearms, or is he as a individual familiar with firearms?
You have never seen what roll me history. We'll leave it at this, and whether or not you're semi familiar. You've heard the sound. You're not as frightened by that sound. Okay. It is your second time here, so we'll roll with you advantage.
He's
Give
heard
you
the
that
sound.
crit.
He's never connected it to anything before, and he
He-
sees like the puff of smoke, and then someone like bleeding from the shoulder. He's like, "The fuck is this?"
Yes, like you've seen firearms and you've heard the sound, but you have never seen it in action because you've never been to Gift Town. Your time on the rock was largely in the marketplace because the Yetis just needed to, engage in trade with what they have, and it's a great place to get stuff.
Yeah.
You haven't been to the market here, but it must be nearby. Uh, in fact, place yourself where you would be now that you know where Gift Town's over here. Where are you on the map?
So Gift Town's here. He would probably. I said he was looking for like more like major things, so he'd probably be like, here. That looks like a kind of big building on the corner there.
Yeah, so you kind of like you're familiar as well. The market that you've been to often, not the only market, but one of the ones you've made at least one trip to or multiple trips to, the lesser market, is just like right behind you. You're like, oh yes, there's that road I turned down, and but you never went out of that market because there was a way for you to kind of like just basically walk into an alley and then plane shift away, with the Yeti planar shenanigans. So you're looking for a GIF with a red beret. Roll me perception to see if you just happen to spot it in the crowd.
Okay, and he is also keeping an eye out for specifically taverns and would be focusing his search there.
Mm-hmm. So
If
you
that could
don't
give me
notice you don't notice anybody that is wearing a red beret, but you quickly pick up on the tavern, the Gift Town Tavern. Everyone is staring at you as you walk further into Gift Town. The tavern is viewable from the street, at least by signs. Kind of just following some lodging this way kind of advertisement. But everyone's kind of keeping an eye out on you, but then also just kind of going back to their own thing because you're not the only non-GIF here in Gift Town, but you're about
Yeah.
10% of the population.
Yeah, but Beats is also like 8 feet tall, wearing like the torn remnants of a cloak as a poncho that only comes down to like his midriff, which is muscled as shit and covered in scars. And he's got like, and like his like wound, his like scarification wound tattoo things that he did down his arms are like still kind of fresh, like not actively bleeding, but like, oh, those are wounds underneath some like thin gauze and stuff. Like he's a bit of a psych. It would make
Yes.
sense that they'd be like, is this a crazy person or?
Yeah. So everyone else is dressed in kind of like European like frontier outfits, pants and tops that button down, some kind of like a very common cloth that's used with nearly everybody. They're all kind of wearing very similar outfits. So you make your way into the tavern, you get in, and a quick search within the room. The gift you're looking for is not here. do you just book a room, or do you want to inquire further with the people in town?
Yeah, I think Beta would kind of throw an eye around. Like, does this place look like a place that is discreet? Like that would like understand discretion a little bit.
To answer
Like,
it in two ways.
like looking at the guy behind the counter. Like, does that look like a person who's informed, or is that just a person who's here working their 9 to 5?
Definitely a person that's informed of gift matters. You know, your general feeling of everything is like, if you were to inquire about a gift, you're not so worried about whether or not that would escape this community. It's more of just the standing of the person that you're inquiring about within their community. Like, is this gift, is Crux, the gift with the red beret, a good member of the community, or somebody that they kind of like, oh no, like we don't like him, and if that is something that's kind of, you're gonna have to figure out when you ask the question.
Okay. Beta will go up to the. Did you say so? It's like this is a tavern, like a tavern with like rooms above.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So there's like a hostess person that kind of can help you with the rooms, and then there's a barkeep as well if you needed to go and get a drink. So you walk in, the stairs are to the left, they're going upstairs, and there's a person standing there that kind of just like looks up and as you enter the door and just lodging or drink.
Well, likely both, perhaps, but first, a bit of guidance would be appreciated for someone who is not the most versed in the ways around this place. I am looking for a gift with
She kind of
some.
narrows her eyes a little bit as you say that, but holds her tongue.
Is that like a slur?
No. She narrows, like she's looking at you, and as you begin the question of like, I'm looking for a gift, she looks at you like, oh, okay, now you're looking for somebody, more of like a protecting of their people than any kind of like insult to you.
Okay, gotcha. Insular community. I feel like Peter would recognize that look very well from the 10 Towns.
Exactly. Yes.
Like, I was told he would potentially have momentum to throw me in the right direction of some violence that I require. A gift wearing a red beret with
She kind of
some
looks at you.
revolutionary leanings.
Yeah, understanding kind of pops behind her eyes as she just like, oh, okay. You're looking for the Commodore. Yeah, nope, sorry, you're in the wrong place. You're gonna find him at the Happy Beholder. That's his preferred place to drink. Honestly, kind of an insult if you ask me. I mean, this is Gift Town. Why wouldn't he be here enjoying time with his people? But I don't know. Anyways, and she kind of like draws you a little map. She's like, yeah, here you go. You should be going this way. It's just right around. You're going to want to go back to the docks and, come back over, and it appears right there on your map.
Thank you.
Can I help you with a room, though?
I have 3 other companions, and yes, I think that would be much appreciated.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So it's going to be the standard rate per night. We have a minimum of 2 people, or a maximum of 2 people per room, based on bed size. So you're going to be renting 2 rooms.
Yes.
Excellent. Yes. Okay. Well, I will send the invoice up to your room whenever you're done. Feel free to come back down, and you'll be in rooms 1 and 6. And she hands you over the keys.
Much obliged. Thank you very much. Also, what what do you have in terms of drink that will make someone be unconscious as quickly as possible?
Why don't you go make your way
By
over to the
their own
bar?
intention, not to give to someone else for nefarious purposes. I just need to not be awake for a very long time.
Well, I mean, you wanted to find the Commodore, and if I know him, he's drinking right now. So, as much as it pains me to steer you in a different direction, if you want to get blacked out drunk, Commodore's, honestly, really good companionship.
Much obliged. Well, and he'll slide 2 gold across the counter and be like, just have something up in the room when I get back, if you please.
Of course, we will.
I will mark off 2 gold. And Beta will go. I'm torn. I'm torn between. I don't think Beta would really want to go find the party just yet, and also not wanting to engage in like main quest shenanigans before the party's together. So I guess Beta would go find the people, find the party, find Del, Levi, and Rosemary.
Are you sure? I mean, you were like looking for the gift, so like knowing where it is that. I'm perfectly fine with you going back to the party. That is okay as well. I'm just saying, like you were looking for the gift. You do know where he is. Are you gonna go and grab the party to bring them to the gift? Is that the plan?
Nah, fuck it. You're right. He would just go straight to the gift. Fuck it.
All right, going straight to the gift. So as you are making your way to the Happy Beholder, kind of just following that main street that you're on there. What is that one called? I can't see. It's too close. All right. So you are making your way down Eel Street. Levi, we're going back to you. Now, we last left, we didn't get an answer on how quickly you were downing the newcomer special. Were you drinking it pretty quickly? Are you sipping on it like Delnadre is?
Levi would definitely sip on it like you sip on a fine wine, right? Like, he's taking small sips, but he's taking, several sips a minute during the conversation. So
right.
it's not like he's sipping it and then waiting 5 minutes to take another sip. He's thoroughly enjoying it. So
yeah. So Braxton and y'all are sitting there during this time. Bitte has gone to Gift Town and is now making his way to the Happy Beholder. You have found the time to drink most, if not all, of the drink. Now, you've been sipping it at a steady pace. So, Delnadre, because you were kind of hiding it, I'm going to let you do a sleight of hand with advantage to hide the fact that you're kind of like purposely taking your time, right? Because
I'm
you
gonna
mentioned
start
that.
giving the appearance of
Or I guess you could
being
do
quite drunk.
deception if you wanted to as well. Yeah, let's roll. Let's roll deception then. If you're going to also pull the appearance of being drunk.
And
With
so I'm gonna start like leaning heavily on the table and just holding the goblet with both hands, so they can't see what level the alcohol is at through that. But as part of the deception, I'm gonna also start appearing to take much longer drinks,
Okay, nice, well done. So
as if I'm rushing through it now that I'm starting to get into it.
all right, so with Delnadre and his sly ways being thoroughly hidden, Levi, you finish your drink, and Braxton kind of looks to the barkeep again and says, "We need the follow up." And he looks back to the group and he's like, "Look, this is a tough drink. It's rich. It's gonna hit you, and especially if you aren't used to this level of luxury, it's not going to be a pleasant sight. So we developed something that really kind of peps you up. It has some beans that have been known to energize and wake up, and of course still has alcohol to keep the night going. But it'll be a great drink for us to take on the road as we go and find our next place. I assume the night is not done for you fellas. Am I right?"
This man
Yeah,
about to serve us an espresso martini. Levi looks at Dell and like raises an eyebrow slightly at his charade.
Gonna give him
Like,
a really big exaggerated wink and nod several times.
Levi turns back to the gentleman. He says, "No, I think we've got plenty of exploring left in us."
Perfect. So, gentlemen, what kind of a night do you want to have? And Levi, I'm gonna need a con check, just by how, like I mentioned, the luxurious nature of this drink. Delnadre as well. Rosemary is gonna give me one. Okay, and as
Should
well.
Dell make his with advantage since he's like barely drinking any of it?
Yeah, why not?
You said a con check or con save? Sorry.
Con check.
Decent.
Okay. Delnadre, whenever you get a chance. Oh, yeah, I didn't even need it. All right. So, let's see. So you both are now you've been sitting around the table. Has your focus been just kind of like, what have you been looking around, still observing the area, or you've been kind of more engaged in this conversation with these two? I know Delnadre, you've been really keeping an eye on them. So Levi, as you've been talking to these people, what are you keeping an eye out for?
I think a bit of both. Like Levi, it's a new place, and Levi he's a seasoned adventurer. So he's sort of like, no, I wouldn't say head on a swivel, but like he's watching the people who come in and out. He's like sitting kind of with his like the way that he angled the chair is like
Mhm.
facing the gentleman that he's talking to, but like it gives him like a better view of the whole room. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and so he's been keeping an eye on like patrons coming in and out, trying to get an idea of like the diversity of the place, what kind of people come to this kind of establishment. And then like keeping an eye on these two guys. At the end of the day, like he may not be the brightest of bulbs, you know what I mean? But he's not an idiot. So he's
Mhm.
like, there's a chance that these guys are gonna try to some funny business. They're serving us these drinks, so he understands what Delnadre's doing. And he's like, all right, if they're gonna try to pull a quick one on us, at least I gotta be somewhat ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like
Um,
he's just trusting them right off the rip.
and Delnadre, if you had the opportunity to express what you've seen as you've been observing these two gentlemen, you would be right along with Levi. Lee seems like he has something. His reactions to the way y'all are talking about yourselves, just the way that they've kind of just tried to make small chat. They have a bigger play at mind here. The longer you stick with these two, the riskier it can get. Now, does anybody's passive perception more than 16?
I think mine's decent, but I don't know that it's that high. Levi's passive is 14.
14? Dale?
11.
11. All right. So, Rosemary slips away. Sometime while y'all are looking around, you're drinking your drinks. She had downed all of her drink. She did not reserve herself at all with the luxuriousness. And she kind of dips out. Give me a perception check, and either of y'all, if you happen to catch her as she walks away, or if she's just going to disappear into the city, and we'll have to find her next time. Yep. So, did not see her. She has slipped away and is now wandering the streets of the Rock of Brawl, quite incapacitated. So, as Braxton kind of suggests, continuing this night, and you all see that it is now sans Rosemary. Bitte has left as well. What's your next play?
I want to start under the guise of drunkenness, asking the more like pointed and polite questions that you would assume someone wouldn't ask, like, so what is it that you guys do? If it's not smashing grabs, do you do? Is it more quiet breaking and enterings?
Braxton kind of laughs and touches your hand, almost like reaches over. He's like, quiet, quiet. Look, I know we're in the company of sailors, but not everybody shares your sentiments on the more fun aspects of the job. Look, we find and place people in jobs. Simple as that. Where you end up, that's none of our concern. We are only here to collect a little bit of finder's fee, just a little off the top of what you would be collecting if you did the job. If you want to go above the table, Xeno termination is the best place to get the money. It is the most riskier as well. Now, if you have a little bit of cash on you, I can grease some wheels and get you a job in the middle city. And if you want to do something that's really going to get you paid, well, we can talk about that as well. But not here.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
I don't think I'm a middle city kind of boy, and I mean, look at me. I don't do Xeno termination. I just get eaten. So how's a guy gonna get paid around here?
All right. Well, look. He looks around, just trying to make sure that what you had said didn't really perk anybody's eyes. You notice him very clearly looking at people that you might have picked up on, Levi as well. They kind of just they're standing about. They are leaning against the side. They are kind of observing, but melded into the crowd. It's the the hired help, the people that the establishment, that local businesses have employed to kind of keep the peace. The ones that really would be kind of upset if there was some open talk about skullduggery. Braxton stands up. He walks over to the barkeep. You'd already ordered the follow up, so he grabs them to go and kind of looks. He's like, "Look, we have a place we can talk. You can consider it our hideout, I guess, but we're just a motley crew. Are you coming?" He says to the pair.
Yeah. Let me just finish my drink. I'm gonna do
Bring
an
him with you.
exaggerated like lean back, like turn to the side of my chair so I can lean all the way back, and fall and spill whatever is left in my liquid. Just like quickly dash it across the floor.
Okay. All right. And so you get up and Levi, do you help him up, or are you already standing up and following Braxton?
No, I jump up real quick. I kind of roll with it, hold the cup up unbroken, and it's good. It's good. I got it. It was basically just drops at that point anyway. And I smack it back down on the table. I'm good.
Okay.
Let's go. Where are we
All
going?
right. This way, and he starts walking. Levi, you going with him?
Yeah, I think he like claps Delnadre on the shoulder, and he turns to sort of follow the pair.
All right.
I make a mental connection with Levi, and telepathically, I'll let him know. I'm fine, really. I only drank like half that thing, uh, but you should keep an eye out. Like, I don't think we can trust these guys.
He replies back telepathically, "I don't think so either. Uh, you know I'm not one for skullduggery, so we'll see what they have to offer, and we may be on our way sooner rather than later."
All right.
Where's Rosemary?
And Levi at this point just like looks around and he says, he looks at the two guys. He's like, "Gentlemen, pardon. Did you happen to notice where our
Companion.
yeah, thank you, companion may have gone off to? She seemed to have slipped my field of vision."
Braxton kind of just looks. She's like, "Oh yeah, well, she was the quiet one. She, do we need her? We can go find her, but Lee, did you see her?" And he's gonna kind of just, yeah, she wandered off that way. And he kind of just points off to a shop, kind of for, not quite in where you were area. The general direction is kind of this way down south. But she, kind of dipped around the corner. If you need, we can, I can send one of our guys after her and bring her back to us. And he kind of
no
just
need.
Lee, without even asking permission, really, just letting you know, nods to a person that was sitting 2 tables over, who kind of just stands up and Lee's like, "Can you go find their friend?" And he's like, "Yep," and just walks off.
Levi
Hey.
chuckles. He says, "Ha! If I didn't know better, I'd think you were gonna do something to her."
Oh, come on, man. No, we're not gonna do anything to her. I mean, it's your first time in the city. She just drank 3 bottles of that, well, 2 of that terrible wannabe alcohol and that really rich liquid. Honestly, I want to make sure she's not dead in the ditch. Look, if she's not here with us after 2 hours, we'll go and help her find you, okay? We're just gonna go to another bar and get some drinks.
Dang, we are lucky. Most of the time, when you enter a place that you've never been before, you usually run up against people who are trying to take advantage of you, but these guys are nice.
I know, right? I'll take an insight check.
Yeah, yeah, roll. He, you pick up on the fact that he had said earlier that we're going to their hideout, and then he mentioned a bar. He seems genuine that his guy is going to find Rosemary, but as always, you're well aware that they are not sharing everything with you. They're up to something. It just you can't quite tell if it's truly sinister or if it's just a minor scam, but it's definitely not above board in any means.
Makes sense.
So back to Bitte. You walk up to the happy beholder. You hear cheers and just general happy like tavern goers inside. It's very loud and rambunctious. There is a person playing for the group using a lute. You open the door and almost kind of get like knocked in as some people are like getting out of the way and laughing a little bit. You walk up, it's in a very similar setup as the Gift Town's tavern. There's a hostess up front that kind of just helps to be an eye for everyone who's entering and leaving, as well as to manage the lodging. She greets you very in this high-pitched tone. "Hi, how can I help you today?"
Beta, pardon, that was gross. Beta scans the room and sees if he sees a giant gif with a red beret on.
Oh, instantly. Mostly because what is next to the gif with the red beret, it is a giant, well, not a giant actually, it's just a beholder floating around, placing right now a parrot on the shoulder of the gif, who kind of looks melodramatic, just kind of like brooding over the flagon of ale that is in front of it. It's its second one. The first finished one has been knocked over to the side. He gestures a little bit, of acknowledgement when the parrot kind of sits on his shoulder, but for the most part, ignores the beholder as it approaches. "Don't worry, Crux, don't worry." And then the beholder moves away, bringing another tray of ale to the table.
To another table?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, Beta will say to the host, I will take 2 of what Crux is having.
Yes, that's our dark ale. We can put it on your tab. Come back to me or the beholder when you're ready to pay. And do be nice. Her voice kind of like completely changed there. It's a bit not as happy, not as excited, to the point.
Beta kind of cocks his head and is curious, what exactly he's gonna come across with that.
Mhm.
But he takes the two tall flagons of ale and goes to sit down across from the gift and say, "Pardon, are you France, Commodore?"
He looks up at you. Just his eyes observe, taking everything about you. He's looking, through wary eyes. You can tell from your time as a survivalist that he's had to judge the manner of a person, kind of at first glance. And he's, "What's it to you? What do you want?"
So as he scans over Beta, he would see the astral elf Morning Star
Hmm.
hanging hanging at one of his hips,
Oh, okay. Would he, if you're sitting down at the table?
like as he sits down.
Okay, great.
He would
Um,
see it.
Let me see. Let me roll perception for him because he was kind of just like staring at his drink while you are
Yeah.
approaching. So let me just check. Yeah, okay. So he kind of just like, as you're sitting down, he gives you that "what's it to you," and then he takes a look and he sees that morning star, and you can see like he perks up a little bit. Still reserved, still downtrodden, like brooding, but something has lit a fire when he noticed that morning star.
Sit down and say, I have something a score to settle, and I was told you were a person to speak to about it. But it seems you have some troubles of your own."
Don't tell a wary old soldier about the troubles he has of his own. Look, my glory days might be behind me, but I'm still good for a couple more fights. Now, I see that acquired weapon at your hip. Was it by friendly or battle hardened terms that you acquired it?
It was a recent addition as I watched my homeworld wreathe in the beginnings of crystal thorns. I took that, and then Bito kind of runs the nails of one hand up one arm as he's kind of like elbows on the table. He runs it up to like lift the corner of the cloak and show one of the breastplates that's serving as like the oversized pauldron.
Mm-hmm.
And this, and then reaches over and does the same on the other arm, showing off the other one. And this.
The more you show, the more excited he gets. To by the end of it, by the time you've shown him all your pieces of acquired gear, he's eagerly asking you to share your story. He wants to know more. Your complete beef. He opens up not about his own experiences, but just about his. I mean, he's a former soldier. He's well versed. He has a ship. He wants to know how he can help. It's genuine and targeted
I,
at these elves. But he's hushed. He never mentions what they are. He always talks about things in vaguer terms. Uh, and if Bitte, for whatever reason, might have brought up the name of their empire, the Zarxians, or Zarxis, or even Astral Elves, he probably would kind of like hush you and just say, "Shh, you never know
yeah,
who could be listening."
Beta does start to say something along those lines and gets just like these bastard star elves and probably gets shushed. These individuals. I know that there is a ticking clock on the people I love, and his hands just kind of absently go to the new the new scarred tattoos on his arm. I want to do. If there is any way to stop what is in the process, I wish to find it. And if there is not, or if I am not equal to the task, then I have a blood debt of some millions to take out.
Well, I can tell you what I know. And he kind of like, he gets up and scooch over to your side of the table and scooches you as far into the corner as he can. He whispers over to you. Look, I know that just a few days ago, there was a fleet of astral elf ships that visited the rock. We don't really get many of their kind. At least, not at this, not on this asteroid. I've known many other places that have fallen prey to the terror, to the might of their empire. If it's only been a few days, there is a chance. At least, the best chance anybody's had yet. These elves, though, they gave us some fair warning. To all the captains here on the rock, told us to steer clear of your world. Anybody that they've seen in the vicinity will be fired upon and taken as prisoners. Look, I'm sure they left some spies behind, so we need to be careful. Is it just you? Are you the only one who has... No, you probably told them about your companions. Look, we need to find your friends and get to my ship. We can lay it all out then.
And you feel equal to another battle?
Sorry, you said what? I feel equal?
And you do feel equal to another battle?
More. I want to bring war to them.
Perfect. And Beta
All right,
will... can I go now, or...
Yes,
Do you
there's
need
no
to
time to...
gather-
We don't...
Or are we going to your ship?
Look, I know he kind of just shouts out, Luigi, I'll come back. Don't worry about my tab this time, even if it is a bit hefty. And he just kind of rushes out the door and gestures like, Bitte, we must go. And so you get out. Yeah, you follow. And Levi, Delnadre, you are following Braxton and Lee. They go a bit south. I guess actually, let's go back to it. They told you you were heading off. Do you follow them? Are you leaving the choice to finding Rosemary? Delnadre, are you trying anything to kind of get your way and direct them in your direction versus theirs, or are you kind of just are we going to their hideout? Is that where we're gonna find you both?
Yeah, we're following them to the hideout. Tansy's
Okay.
gonna fly off and start looking for Rosemary, though.
Okay. All right. Roll me a survival check for Tansy.
Survival.
And this will be the first of many, I'm sure.
Yeah, she doesn't have any proficiency there, so wisdom, go.
Unless he does. Oh, okay. You Tansy catches just a glimpse of her as not too long after you've left. You start making your way towards their hideout, which is located over here. He kind of gestures. It's just back there a little bit. So as you're making your way, we'll say you're about over here, and you kind of start going into the kind of into the alleyways between the houses as they lead you to their hideout. You are kind of in the thick of it, still walking. They're not taking, they're not rushing. They're just taking their time. Braxton's kind of introducing you and talking about the general areas of the city. He will let you know of another of both of the taverns that are well known in the lower city, as well as there's the dry dock, kind of just helping you understand where you are. He doesn't know as much, or at least isn't as willing to share about the middle city. Dale, Levi, what kind of information are you trying to get out of him versus what he's been sharing with you willingly?
Where are we at?
We are right here. Oh, dumb. Sorry. You're on the you're in the GM layer. I've just been looking at you and I'm like, there you go. How's that? Is that better?
Hey, we exist.
As long as our throngs of adoring fans could see them.
They could not actually.
God damn it.
But for the
Great.
most part, it has been zoomed out a lot. So it's been, we've been more enjoying the theater of the mind and giving them a good view of the city. I will zoom in though here for them. It is my bad. Sorry, throngs of fans. Anyways, back to the thick of it. What is happening with Levi and Dale? What questions, what information are you trying to understand?
Um.
I think for Levi, number one, he'd be doing his best to keep track of like the turns that they take while they walk so that he could easily find his way back to where they were.
Okay.
And then also he would be just kind of admiring and taking in like the different kinds of architecture in the different neighborhoods and see if there's like any sort of indication on like if there's any particular like neighborhood's purpose, like if this is like a blacksmith sector like where we were at was maybe like a sort of like like bar pub type area where like a bunch of those businesses were common. You know what I mean? Or if
Yeah.
there's like a specific
So
like a merchant's row type of deal.
right. So besides the market, which he pointed out and is there on the map as well, when it comes to each of these little like blocks and neighborhoods, dissected by the major streets that run through the low city, they do their best to become minorly self-sufficient, and you are largely looking for like specialized areas. So the area you're in, it's pretty close because they're pretty close to the docks, is well known for just housing sailors, being like sailor families, some small bake shops and meat shops and general like mom and pop kind of areas. The general vibe you've been getting from the city is that there's just an abundance of everything, and it's your local hub is where you kind of stick to, and then you go where you work. The lower city, every area is trying to service those around them, and at the same time it's such a people who come to the Rock who aren't established, who didn't either born here or don't plan to stay here, they stick to the low city as that's just affordable. It's where a lot of the happening is, and it's just easy to get in and out of. And so that's kind of like what you're getting from when the low city is. Now, the further you dive into these alleyways, especially the way that they're taking you, it's getting more cramped, and you're seeing a bit poorer of the populace. The increase of homeless on the street, disrepair in some of the buildings in this area. You're not going into a very well kept neighborhood.
Sure. I think Levi would ask, is there no system of assistance for the homeless on the Rock?
Braxton kind of like openly laughs and chuckles. No, the city is very much a look out for your own mentality. At least when it comes to those on their own. There are organizations that help. You can stay at the Mage's Tower. There are a couple of guilds that I think might fit you all, and they trade services for lodgings. But if you don't have a use, or if your use has come and gone,
what kind of use do you think I'd be good for?
You're small. You probably get into places you shouldn't be in. I'm sure that could become useful, depending on who needs it.
Did we get that follow-up drink?
You did, yeah. It's in your hands. I guess, yeah, let's ask that question. Do y'all drink it?
Levi would taste it.
Yeah. All right. It's light, very crisp, tastes funny, but you instantly get that like zing that just kind of like peps you up. It feels at first like a just with the sip a very fake pep, like it's more of like a tricking of your senses to make you really aware than to actually bring you out of any kind of like stupor. But roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving throw.
Alright,
Dirty,
yeah.
dirty 20.
You don't like it, but it definitely has exactly what they described. You know, that pep and that zing, and will cause you to become very energetic very quickly.
Is it is it like bitter? Is it like sour? Like why? Like what is the
Very
taste?
very sour and crisp, like a pickle,
Mm, interesting.
but it's alcoholic. So there is
Alcoholic
some
pickle
kind of
juice.
clear alcohol that they've
What was
used.
that? I think he takes a sip and he makes a face and he just shakes his head. He's like, I think this one is not for me. I'll hold it though, but it's
Ah,
definitely not. Would you like it, Braxton Lee? Would one of you
mm.
be interested in?
They both they say no. That's the point. It's not a pleasant drink. It's just look, you drink it, you don't drink it. That's fine by me. Set it there. Do what you want to do. I'm just trying to help a couple of fellas out by giving you something that's gonna make the morning not such well, it's living hell, I will say. Especially if that's the first time you had something as luxurious as we had with the newcomer special. It's too rich for your bodies, at least humanoids, at least humans. Sorry, not humanoids, humans.
Yeah, hold on. Now that you said that, can you describe Braxton Lee? Are they not humans?
They are human, yes.
Okay.
They, and I will say, they probably say humans. Maybe they say humanoids, but then they say humans as they look at both of you because you kind of like you have other features that they. In fact, let me roll something to see if they're going to pick up on your lineage. Yeah, so he would have said humanoids rather than human.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, I don't think
Tansy has. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I don't think Levi would take that in any sort of way, but would just sort of roll with it. And he would find like a trash can or something to like just gently place the pickle drink into.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you continue to make your way through these back alleyways, and kind of come around this way, and there's a little. You come out into this opening, and they gesture their hideout is right here. It's in fact actually it's this little tiny shack right at the back, right here. That they have kind of this door that some boxes have been piled against, and Braxton goes forward and starts like shifting him out of the way. He knocks on the door twice and looks to the party or to the pair. What are y'all are y'all following close? Have you kept your distance? You kind of when he got into the
Wow.
opening, he just steps on forward.
Yeah, I think
This is shady. If I didn't know better, I'd think you guys were luring us out away from the crowds.
Braxton looks and he's like, I mean, he points to the homeless person across the way. Billy's here. Hey, Billy. Billy just like looks up. Puts his head back down.
Hey, Billy,
Is
these
it?
people tend to bring lots of people here who never leave.
No, they always leave.
All right, we're good.
Braxton kind of like the door opens behind him and he waits to see if the pair approaches willingly and on their own.
Gonna raise an eyebrow at Levi.
I think Levi's just at this. He's like in for a penny, in for a pound, right? So he's like, and also he's cocky, so he's like, let's see it through. You know, he'll speak telepathically to Delnadre, and he'll just like nod, and he'll be like, "Well, follow to the end, I guess. And he'll just like step through the doorway.
Okay. So y'all are getting ready to enter their hideout. Bitte, you are with Commodore Crux, and he's going to be leading you back through some of the back alleys and kind of staying away from the streets. As he leads you through, he's constantly kind of like looking around, telling you to keep an eye out. You never know who's looking for us. You never know what spies that these astral elves left behind. We need to get to my ship as quick as possible. Let me. His goal kind of right now is he's going to direct you to where the ship is, and then he's going to come and kind of like help you find your friend, because he's just, the second you started speaking about it and showing off what you have, and I'm guessing the morning star you have on your hip isn't really covered, is it?
So the cloak it's a regular cloak. It's sideways, so it more like covers at the sides, and then it comes up in the middle a little bit. So like,
Okay.
It's the like head is partially covered most of the time when he's walking, but like when he sat down, he kind of.
Got it. Okay, so if somebody was really looking at you, they could potentially notice it as you're moving around. But for the
Yes.
most part, it's kept under the cloak. All right, so he's still taking you through these alleys, going north here. Let me roll. Bitte, what's a good thing for just roll a d20 here? No, roll a d2. Heads or tails? Are you gonna walk in at the right moment?
Okay, even or odd?
Odd. Oh, I guess I should have asked to call it, but
Or, yeah, so low. Low, I typically would associate with the negative.
all right. So yeah, you just happen to miss them. You take actually it's close enough. Let me, Delnadre, Levi's in the doorway. Delnadre, back to you. Are you following just right in step with Levi? Are you taking a moment? Did you ponder this just a bit further?
No, I'm gonna take a big mouthful of my energy drink, gag a little, and then go give the rest of it to Billy and just say, here you go, Billy. You could probably finish this off for me. Be warned, it tastes like pickles.
Yeah. Roll me a Constitution saving throw. Okay. You take a big drink. You give it to Billy, and you're walking back, and Bitte kind of walks in with Crux through a back alley as Crux is leading the way. You have your back turned as two newcomers come into the I don't know what you call this, courtyard. Bitte, you, I would assume, recognize Delnadre from behind.
I would know that ass anywhere.
I was gonna say, I guess it depends on how intently he studies his behind.
Yeah, all right. So Commodore Crux comes in. Levi, you are already entered into the warehouse. You entered this back room. You go through like kind of like a double door. So you have your door, then a little laundry room area where shoes and you keep things in a house kind of coming to the back. And now you've entered into what you would expect to see. It's a back alley, gloomy lighting, cards on the table, or some kind of gambling set. There's two other guys who look like goons just sitting there, but they greet you, friendly, like, hey, and they, invite you to come sit down. Now, Delnadre, you hear this at the same time that Bitte calls out and says,
Dale.
I turn to look. Oh, Bitte! Hey, you found the guy.
I did find the guy. What did you find? This is not.
Oh, we made some friends. Levi's inside, and Rosemary left. But she's with Tansy. What are y'all doing here?
Tansy is with Rosemary now.
I
let's go
close
back
my eyes.
So Tansy had picked up on Rosemary's tail or scent or whatever sight flying above, but by the time Tansy kind of dove in and went into what you typically expect, I mean, these are tight alleyways that she's kind of walking through. She's just meandering. Tansy kind of like gets down to the same level, and you see as you close your eyes, Rosemary at the end of a long hallway making a turn as Tansy kind of like settled to purview or to review to take in the surroundings.
Yeah, she's in sight. Tansy's keeping an eye on her.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So flying after her, let's do more check here from Tansy. You don't need survival because she's right there. Perception as you turn the corner. Do you see her?
Tansy has advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or sight.
Wonderful. Yeah, you're looking for her voice. You're looking for her.
Not that it does shit.
All right. Well, you turn the corner and she's gone. This is a very busy street, but she's not on the street. But there are numerous little shops that kind of have some hippie beads or some just a light fabric that's covering their doorway. Tansy's gonna have to go and search each one of them, popping his head in and putting beak to pavement. So we'll pick up with Tansy next. So I guess Delnadre, she was in sight. She's not in sight. She's not that far away. She's probably somewhere over here. Or do you know the exact location of Tansy? Like,
I mean, we can communicate telepathically.
Okay.
I don't
Tansy
think
could
I
easily.
have just like.
We'll just say at this point, he's in a neighboring cluster, and we'll deal with exactly where she is later. Okay, so yeah, back to Delnadre.
Yeah, she's nearby.
Well, I found the person. He says there's some urgency to get back to his ship to discuss further courses of action.
Ah, okay.
What are the two of you doing? Or is Levi already in the place?
Levi is inside.
Levi's in the place. Levi's dapping up the dudes inside.
Yeah, Levi's already I guess have y'all had a brief conversation? They just dealt Levi into the hand, and he's now playing cards. Do you know the card game that they're playing?
I don't know. Well, I have proficiency in playing cards.
All right, so you are well aware of the game that they're playing, as well as the rules and general understanding of how to play the game. They deal you in. Now, how much are you betting? Gold, silver? You see a couple of golds, like a pile of gold on the table.
What's the buy-in?
They don't really ask that. They just say, "What are you betting?"
I guess he would probably start by betting 5 silver pieces.
Okay.
Sort of as I need to see whether these guys are actually going to follow the rules or if they made up their own bullshit house rules, in which case I'm going to play a couple hands and then decide to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So you're going to get into that while we go back to Bitte and Levi. And Del. So yeah, Levi's inside the room, Bitte, so you only see Delnadre, but the door's still open, so you can kind of hear him talking to people inside.
You could hear his bellow laugh from in there.
Gotcha. What are y'all doing? Is this another bar?
Don't know actually. A couple guys bought us some drinks and wanted us to come with them and see if they could find us some work.
Good.
Commodore Crux.
We both figured it would be a decent learning opportunity for see kind of what's going on.
Yeah,
around
Commodore
here.
Crux identifies Lee, who's the one who's standing at the doorway. Braxton having already gone inside. Lee was waiting for Delnadre.
I'll say I walked over to.
Yeah, so he just kind of acknowledges Lee that's over there next to the door and just Lee, and he says, "Crux, Crux says back to Lee, "What are you getting yourself into?" He says, "Nothing dangerous yet." Crux replies, "You're not running your usual game, are you?" He says, "Haven't decided yet." Crux goes, and just turns back to Bitte and says, "Look, if your friends are here, if you want to go, let's go. If it's just you and this gentleman, if it's you and whoever else you have in town, I don't care, but we gotta go now."
Where you guys headed? We're taking off already?
This isn't safe for the activities that y'all have already gotten yourself into. And he kind of gestures over to Lee, and those fools are not the ones you want to have in a fight.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, who would want somebody as weak as them? Like, scraping the bottom of the barrel. Lee kind of laughs, but then kind of just like flashes the inside of his coat. It's kind of like this secret compartment, almost like this secret a pattern he had sewn on, just tears away to just reveal 2 knives. Crux, you know what's happened when we get at opposite ends of things. Let them make their own decision. So, Dale, Bitte, think about what you want to do. I need to take a quick bio break. So 5 minutes or so on the clock as we take a pause here. I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
All right, so we kill Lee, and then we sweep through the entire gambling den like a plague through the Egyptians.
Exactly. That's my read as well. I think Beta is going to. I think Beta needs to take his bone art to a more serial killer level, and start playing with some skulls. Kidding. Yeah, no, I think Beta would just be like, yeah, like, what are y'all doing? Is his initial vibe? It's just like, of course we're going.
We're gonna establish ourselves as the new prominent gang in the Low City.
We're gonna take over, and we're gonna help the homeless people, and not do any crime.
Mm-hmm.
No
Correct.
crime, only charity.
Yep. Except for all of the extremely merciless killings that we do of all of the other gangs in the area.
Right, but they're bad people, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's basically not even crime. That is charity.
Yeah, exactly. We're cleaning up the streets. Call me the Green Arrow.
It's a non-profit killing.
What is happening? What?
Everyone knows criminality does not stem from systemic equality, and that those who are poor and turn to crime as a way of establishing community and mutual protection in poor communities are morally bad and should not vote, should have the vote stricken from them, and should be murdered with impunity.
Of course.
Right, and we are not poor, so we're allowed to turn to crime of our own choice. It's not, we weren't forced into it.
Yeah, no, we're gentlemen criminals.
Yes,
Like
we're bringing capitalism to the Rock.
Rosemary would be so proud of us.
Yes.
No, she would be more proud if y'all were bringing labor movements to the Rock.
Wait, I was gonna hold on. We're gonna unionize the homeless, and we're gonna turn them into real estate moguls.
The strong bargaining power that the homeless have for their service of sidewalk
cleanup,
warming.
We're turning the tables. Once you were homeless, now you're a landlord.
Exactly.
Get out there and exploit people.
Okay, so like, it honestly would be perfect because they do mention in the book how how like 50% of the houses here are vacant because of how the turnover of the rock is. So so developing a system where the homeless can have free lodging above the rooms that they're actively trying to sell would work.
That's
Well,
Yeah,
perfect.
we'll
I
just
don't-
start moving into all those vacant houses. I mean, who's really tracking that?
The
And
only
then once
problem
we're
is you
there,
have to get
possession
rid
is
of
9/10 of the law.
yeah, once you're there though, you do have to get rid of the current landlords. So it would probably have some profitable killing though, not
We just have
non-profit
to
killing.
teach them how to use scrap metal to fortify any of the homes that they're in. Your home is your castle, so defend it. There
Playing,
will be a siege.
we're now playing like a vaguely Fallout themed edition of Sims.
Oh my god. I'm writing this down. This is happening. Okay. Unionizing the homeless for a
Water's
realtors
right.
association.
We'll call it.
Rosemary wakes up in some like alleyway after her drunken bender to find that Dell, Levi, and Bitte have taken over the entire real estate market.
Yeah, we're gonna
She
create
acts-
a new organization. We're gonna call it the HBA, the Home Borrowers Association. Because stealing is a crime, but borrowing without permission is okay. As long as we return it to its rightful owner, unless they're bad people and they're dead, in which case we can appoint a new owner of our choosing.
All right, so back to where we were. Back to what we were discussing here.
Levi has
Del-
bet 5 silvers on this game of cards.
5 silvers.
And
Del Bitte.
yeah, Del and Bitte are
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. I just want to know what they're gonna do so we can bring you in, Levi. Del, are you gonna go and get Levi, or are you gonna ask Lee to bring him out? How are you continue, or are you guys gonna say let's lay low for you here for a second?
I'll go get Levi. But first, with my back turned to Lee, I'm going to use the conversation with Bite and Crux to disguise a casting of Mage Hand,
Okay. All right. No need
which
to roll.
I'm just gonna place it on my shoulder.
And Bite, we probably had a long rest at some point if you wanted to reset your health or anything. Just I noticed it's at 21.
Okay, yeah, I would gladly accept
Or at least a short rest. I mean, that's a good point. You can do a short rest. We can consider having done a short rest on the ride back from the derelict Nautiloid ship to the docks.
I feel like you told us that was going to take a full day, no?
Was it going to take a full? I know you leveled up. Level
Yeah,
6.
don't you recover all of your HP on the level up?
All right, full health. Ignore the hit dice. Continuing on. Yeah, so you have disguised a casting of Mage Hand. What are you going to do with this Mage Hand?
I'm just gonna put it on my shoulder, carry it in with me.
Okay, and so you're going to walk in to get Levi. Crux is not going to follow. Bitte, are you going to stay with Crux, or are you going to go in with Delnadre?
Does Beta feel like Del would need backup in this situation?
You got kind of some tense vibes from the conversation that Crux and Lee had, so but at the same time, I feel like Delnadre and Levi, or Delnadre at least, let you know that like, hey, these are not the most savory, but nothing bad has happened yet. Well, at least just by the looks. I mean, he is walking in willingly, but he did hide a cast. So I guess taking from that, I
think Beta would be vigilant and on guard, but not like following him into the place. I think he just kind of stands there. He maybe go ahead and grabs his shield and puts it on and says, "So I think we're gathering people up. There is a fourth to our number that is somewhere close by that we will grab after."
Is she? Crux is going to ask, is she sporting any acquired gear?
No, I do not believe so.
Okay, good. And there's not as much worry for that.
Okay, and Beta, having had that said, Beta will kind of pull the cloak a little further down on his shoulders to cover, or actually no, he takes he pulls out a large knife and like opens the cut he'd made in the top for his head, and then like shifts the whole thing so that like favors his left side.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
so like comes up to like just cover the thing and not cover his side at all on the right, and then on the left it comes down like to his hip.
Okay.
To hide the thing.
All right. So, Delnadre, Levi, we're entering into the Delnadre's entering into the building. Levi, roll me whatever proficiency you have with the cards. See your luck for your first hand.
I think it would just be like plus proficiency, right?
I believe so.
roll.
Yeah. So if you have that on your
I wonder if I could just
character sheet, I'm pretty sure you can just click it.
Let's see, other.
But it might also ask like what what you have.
Oh no!
Nope.
Okay.
Playing cards. Yeah, just roll d20 plus proficiency.
d20 plus 3. 11.
Okay. You make a little bit back. You didn't have the whole winning hand, but you cleared enough to get your silver plus or well, no, you clear enough to get your silver back, but no, you didn't make any. The one of the other gentlemen clears the rest of it. So they ask you if you want another hand when Delnadre walks in, followed by Lee, who closes the door behind them.
Levi notes that, and he smiles at Delnadre, and he says, "Absolutely, I'll take another hand. Deal me in, boys. Let's see if I can make a little more money this time."
All right. So there are two, we'll just call them goons, sitting there at the table. In the back, Braxton is preparing what looks to be like the same drink you both had before, the energizing drink. And Lee has walked in and is now just perching on the doorway, entering where you entered in, with the outside door completely closed, but the inner door is open. He looks to Levi and Dell and kind of, I guess we'll leave it to Dell here. What are you doing? What are you gonna say?
All right, Levi, hurry it up. Dealing your last hand. Bite's here. He found the GIF. Looks like they want to keep moving on. So, Braxton, I have to thank you for a wonderful evening, but it looks like we have another engagement with a friend of ours to take care of.
Whoa! You're gonna be hanging out with the GIF? Talk about a dangerous crowd. There's a chance that every minute you're gonna get shot in the ass. You don't want to hang out with them. Look, if you're looking for jobs and you want to be, busting through doors, I can give it to you. Don't leave just yet.
Levi's just like looking at his cards. You're gonna finish up this hand, and then it has every intention of standing up to leave right after this is done.
Mm-hmm.
Do the other guys who are playing at the table have just like piles of coins in front of them?
The one who won the last seems to have the biggest pile. The rest of them don't quite have a big pile, but they have a modest enough. They could probably last another 2 to 3 hands amongst them. But it looks like one of them of the two is dominating. So I guess there's only 3 there.
Going to send the mage hand to attempt to pilfer a couple of coins from the guy with the most money, and to move them to the other guy with the least money's pile.
Okay, so
kind of like grab them, move them around the edge of underneath the edge of the table, slide it along, and then slip over. Loop, loop.
Yep. Okay.
Is the mage hand invisible?
It is, because I am an arcane trickster.
Fuck yeah.
I have mage hand legerdemain.
Roll me stealth. Actually, roll me perception on Delnadre and sleight of hand if you need to do it differently for the mage hand.
It just uses my stats.
Okay, so then perception to wait for the perfect moment to shift, and then sleight of hand to see whether or not you do it well. Okay, you try your best to choose that right moment where they're looking away, but it doesn't matter. Even though they were looking almost at their at their coins, you managed to slip just a few coins away. Not enough to make a big dent, but you definitely bought the other person another hand, assuming they continue to lose. So, Levi, you roll me proficiency again. Let's see if you finish this hand and win. Win big, win a little bit, or lose. Ouch.
6.
Lose. All right, you lose your 5 silver pieces, so you're just out 5. You finish up. You stand up. You say goodbye. Braxton has put down the drinks that he's prepared. Lee is no longer leaning on the side of the doorway. Now stood up, kind of blocking it. They're still pleading with you to stay.
All right. I mean, we probably have time for another hand or two, but really, we do have to go. Our friend is waiting.
No. Braxton kind of shoos away the thugs, kind of gets them to stand up, and he takes a seat. Look, we don't want to play games. No, look, I want to connect you with a job, and I can tell you I can connect you with a better job than Commodore Crux would. That's how I get my money, and I need to get my money from this interaction. So let me help you before I have to help myself.
Why don't you tell us about the job?
I told you I can set you up anywhere. What kind of work do you want to do? You want to learn a new craft? You have crafts that you can share with. What did y'all do in your adventuring when you were back on your world? Where are you from?
A little planet called Toril.
Ah. Oh. Ugh. Well, why didn't you say that before?
Is this a problem?
Yeah. Look, I can do this, but it's going to be discreet, and I can't set you up with anybody legit. Not while they're looking for you.
Looking for us?
Who's they?
Yeah. The astral elves. Look, you're from the planet. You're new here. I know why you left. They came and warned us. Stay away. We know what's been happening out there. That's why the rock has seen such a increase in population of late. A lot of refugees, let me tell you. I don't want to get mixed up in that business, but it's still worth to make some money.
What do you know about that?
Very deeply. Kind of like looking at you. All right, what kind of training do y'all have? What good experience do you have with the elves before I share my knowledge?
Well, so far, just the one encounter where we sent them running.
You sent them running on a ship in the streets?
Ship to ship.
Ship to ship. Wow. Impressive. Is it your ship? Were you hired?
It was just someone who happened to pick us up.
So still a refugee. But it does sound like you have a bone to pick, and vengeance, revenge, that's a tough business to deal with,
There's nothing so emotional as vengeance for me. This is business.
Well, look. There's a couple places in town that could benefit from your services. But it ain't pretty. You can roll with us. We can use a couple of heavy-handed hitters to join our ranks. I'll be honest with you. You were a mark, but well, knowing what I know now, it's not worth it. You're probably out of our league. Am I mistaken?
I think
No, I
it's
think that's the first true thing you've said all night.
I think Levi smiles and he says, we would not have come along with you if we didn't think we could handle your kind.
Okay. We test a couple of people out. It's worked out. It hasn't. I'm down from the 7 I started with, but hey, we've made quite a bit of dough. So I offer it again. Forget Crux. Stick with us. We can help you.
How about this? We will meet with this Commander Crux and we will see what his offer is. We will see what his deal is. And if we feel we would fare better with you, we can always return, yes? Or is the deal a now only type of thing?
Yeah, it's a now only type of thing, since you brought it up. Look, I'm never going to turn down an opportunity to connect you with the job. But I'm not just going to have somebody who wants to come back to me as a second option. You join our crew, you join our crew. We got lodging. Stay here in town. I can set you up in a nice little apartment that we know is vacant. And you know, we just keep an eye out. As newcomers yourself, I'm sure you can help along with the play. Find those who earnestly need a job and get a big payout, but get a payout regardless. So I'll offer it again. Last chance. Are you with us or are you with the GIF?
Levi extends his hand and he says, I'm not one to make rash decisions, so I fear this is where we must part ways. It's been a pleasure to enjoy your company, and I wish you best of luck in your endeavors.
So Levi, Delnadre, you stand up and get to start to leave. Lee blocks the doorway. He kind of goes. He's upset. He doesn't really want to let you go, but he's just staring you down right now.
Levi just he'll stand right in front of him. How tall is Lee?
Lanky, but not too tall. Probably like 6 feet or so, but really, really thin. Very like thin, but at the same time, like he has muscles.
Okay,
Just
he's
not
like
well fed.
like corded. Like
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
I think Levi just stands in front of him and just raises his eyebrows and just like flashes his eyes towards the hilt of the great sword that's attached to his back, and he says, "Oof." No.
He meets your glare, but gives way, stepping to the side. The other thugs, kind of responded slightly similar to Lee, standing out, being very standoffish, but follow suit. Braxton kind of just sighs, and he says, "Well, you know where to find me," and lets you go.
Yeah, before we head out, I'm just going to say to Braxton, look, man, it's no hard feelings. I respect the game, but what you're offering is not what we're here for.
He chuckles. He's like, fine. But, just know this. You do have a friend in me. And
I'm happy to hear that. I'll reach out to take his hand, shake his hand.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever have information to sell on the elves, look us up.
He
Levi
considers it, and you both leave.
Yeah, Levi reaches into his coin pouch and he says, "I don't know how much drinks are worth," and he puts 2 gold on the table before he walks out.
I kind of look at you like this dude. But they happily accept it. The person who was losing very quickly just snatches both gold pieces, and when the other one gives kind of like a upset response, he quietly gestures to the massive pile that he's already taken from him, and they start to gather up their gold as you both step out. Now you are both stepping out into this open alleyway. Commodore is standing right over here. Bitte, you said you were still sticking with Crux, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah. Billy, during this time, was just sitting there for a while. That's the homeless person that was kind of like off on the side. He quietly gets up and walks away. Before Delnadre and Levi enter into the courtyard.
He's
Let me see here. You need to do a insight check to see. Yeah, Beta doesn't feel like he trusts this motherfucker getting him leaving.
Yeah, especially because he did it, from what you could tell when you were looking at him and just you using your ranger instincts, he hadn't moved for a while. He kind of looked like he had stuff. And as he left, he picked up some things, but he left some things behind. So he kind of just picked up and left. And how does that make Bitte feel now that like you're not happy? Crux is still like she's like looking around. He has his hand on his 2 firearms that he has on his little pistol blunderbusses that he has on his hips, but for the most part, he hasn't drawn any weapons yet.
I think seeing that, and that happens like right when Dell goes back in.
Shortly after Dell gets back into the back room, but not before they've exited. So in the time that that whole conversation was happening, Billy got up and left.
Okay. Beta will tell Crux to wait where he is and follow Billy around a corner.
Okay. So Billy exits out. He says something briefly to a person just right here at the edge on the corner to just sit down, and then kind of just melds himself into the crowd. You can continue to follow Billy, or you can talk to this new person.
Yeah, so I was hoping.
Would you like to take sorry?
I was hoping he was going to go through the crowd, or not into a crowd, but he was going to have like a couple of turns through an alley before he got to a crowd.
No, because like where you are, basically, he's just taking like one of these exit. I put him right here, but he's just taking an exit route straight into these major roads where the crowds are. It's not difficult. Like Bitte could definitely follow him, but he went into a crowd. So you have the option to talk to the person that's just sitting there, kind of just like not a cloaked figure, but like just somebody who's just sitting on on a chair, minding his own business, maybe smoking a cigarette or something, drinking something.
How long was the statement?
You saw him get up and leave, and you gave him a little bit to kind of like a little bit of buffer zone to be able to follow him without him noticing. They had a sentence or two quick, and then they left. The person that's sitting down kind of like moved around a little bit, but then kind of just went back to its watching. It was just observing the street. But as far like from where you were, as far away as you are, you wouldn't be able to discern what that person that's sitting down was doing.
I think seeing Billy disappear into a crowd means Beta can't do what he intended to do. So instead, he'll go to the person Billy spoke to and say, "Salutations, friend. May I ask you a question?"
You're in my way. What do you want? Go, come on, don't ask me if you can ask me a question. Just ask the question.
He's sitting in a chair, right?
Yeah. He's still looking out in the crowd. He kind of just like acknowledges you briefly. He knows you're tall and like kind of towering, but it's more of like a you're in my son kind of situation.
Yeah. Beta is going to ram the palm of his hand into the center of this guy's chest and grab his shirt and tip his chair back about 30 degrees and hold him there and say, "That is not a very polite way to speak to someone."
So as you do this, you see like he's knocked back, he's looking at you, he's grinning. From out of the shadows from just this hallway, like right behind you, you hear just some footsteps clink down. A sword has been drawn. as you are grabbing this person that's in the chair and leaning him over, kind of intimidating them, an astral warrior appears behind you out of the thing. Just stop. You're coming with me, he says. So it is kind of like you've walked off. As you walk off, you're having this within eyesight still of the whole courtyard because you're just in this alleyway here. Delnadre and Levi, you step out, and at the same time, three other astral warriors kind of just close in. Commodore Crux has his pistols up. He has one drawn on the astral elf across the way. He has another one drawn to the left. He's staring at the one in front of him. They all come in, weapons kind of blazed or shown. But they have not yet, they're yet to engage. They look at the group and says, "You need to come with me for some questioning."
Beta takes his knife and he's just gonna bury it in this dude's throat.
The
Throat
one
and
that
then-
the one you're holding in the chair, or the one that's turned behind you?
Well, hang on. Let me do a quick wisdom check just to see how.
Because like the sword of the astral elf from behind is like poking into your back, kind of thing. Like while you were in the motion of doing this, that person had walked out. But still, like, even though it's poking into your back, I mean, it's like, still gonna have to roll to hit you. It's not a free hit, I will say.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Levi would put his hands up, like not up, like in surrender, just like up and out, and he'd say, "I think you are mistaken. Who exactly are you looking for?"
So the one, and we will, sorry, let me pop this and give me this one's name. Named, and name is Helix. Okay, so Helix steps forth. I'm sorry, who can speak Elvish?
I can.
Yeah, okay, so on his he has a name tag. This is in the military. He has a name that says his name is Helix. He steps forward and in a very demanding voice, just like, "You are all wanted for questioning. Come with us now. We have some questions to ask about a recent incident that happened in space, or wild space, just outside of Toril. We know that you came from there. We just need you to come quietly, and everything will be resolved pleasantly. Resist, and we have been authorized by the prince to show force, deadly if necessary." It's Helix.
And
stepping forward.
Levi looks around and he says, "Perhaps I am unfamiliar with the goings on the Rock of Brawl, but are we to assume you're some kind of authority in these parts?"
I didn't ask for smack talk. What I asked for is your willingness and cooperation to come with us to our ship. As I said before, Prince Andrew has authorized us and given us diplomatic immunity here on the rock. Therefore, you can consider it just as much of Zarxian Empire land as it is this backwater rock filled with scheming underbarons, all vying for their sliver of power. The lawlessness of this place upsets me. Do you wish to come with us now, or will we have to show you a lesson before asking you our questions? Helix at this point just has his longbow just fully pulled back. The astral elf to the north also has readied their bow. The one to the south just has his longsword out.
I'm not one to go against an authority figure. However, in this situation, I don't think you truly have diplomatic immunity. And I don't think you
Um,
have any right to take us anywhere. So I will be
Commodore Crux.
politely declining your request. And he pulls out his greatsword.
All right.
Yeah,
Pulling it.
Bita,
Levi's pulling out the greatsword. Okay. Bitte.
Bita is going to realizing now as I look closer to the map that we're in like a full on courtyard.
Yes.
Where, Bita is not going to just murk this guy immediately. He is going to pull him slightly in and say, I know your face. Your life is forfeit. Just so you know. And is going to drop him and let him fall back, and I assume that person will like scuttle and scurry off.
You drop him. He let me roll next acrobatics for him. He kind of like he takes the drop and just rolls back trained. This is a trained motion as he just kind of gets back up 3 feet behind you. He kind of just like smiles and he says, "Till next time," and turns away, leaving you with the astral elf warrior that has its long sword just kind of like trained on your back or pressing
And
against like the back of your ribs. So
Bita will stand and turn and say loudly to Helix from kind of across the way and say, "You are, as all of your number that we have met, a fucking idiot. You claim to have authority to ask questions, but you lack the sense to ask the one thing you really fucking need right now."
And what's that? Says the one that's right in front of you. His name Lannis. From what you've been able to pick up on. Actually, this is a good example to test your Elvis knowledge. Roll me, I guess, language be intelligence with disadvantage to see if you pick up on his name that's written on his chest.
I do not.
You do not, but you make some progress.
So as he says, "And what's that?" Beta's eyes turn to him and he says, "My mercy." As Beta casts as Beta bonus action. Beta's gonna cast and do shit. I don't know how you want to do that. Beta's going to bonus action cast Zephyr Strike and like kick off the wall about 5 feet away and unload a couple of darts into Lannis.
Okay. Well, that's gonna be. We'll save that for initiative to see how quickly. But with your reaction, everybody kind of gets the feeling that you're going to be attacking very soon. Levi picks up on it. He's already ready. Delnadre, how are you preparing yourself for this? Commodore Crux, like listening to Bite, cocks back both of his firearm blunderbusses and just is like smiling. He has this gleeful look on his face, something that you can often see of a veteran who gets back into the fray and just like relives his glory days. Delnadre, set us up for how you are, and then let's roll initiative. We can get into a little bit of this, and we're coming up on time here at 4 o'clock Central, so we got about 20 more minutes before we head out.
Are any of the elves directly engaged with me?
So Kekaron, that's the elf to the north, is training his bow on you. Farin and Helix both have their eyes on Crux, although Helix is definitely like looking over at Bitte as well, but he kind of feels like Lannis probably has him in kind of handled. At least he's competent of his own men. They they don't really know who you are yet, but they know that you want to fight. And so where the fuck is the goddamn turn? There it is. Okay, so if it hadn't happened yet, we need to go back and add turns. So Levi is at 20. Bitte, you were at 14. This one, they're gonna go. Oh, nice. Like that. This, okay. And who else is not rolled? Oh, Hodor. And then Delnadre.
I rolled. It just didn't add me to the turn order.
There we go. Sending. So it's gonna have Lannis acting first. Why is there 2 Levi's here? Levi, did you get a 20? You got a 20, right? Not a 15.
Yeah, you.
All right,
I
BT.
think the
So
15. I think the 15 was supposed to be Delnadre.
oh, okay, that's weird.
I feel like I'm again not on the
Oh.
turn.
Oh, I get it. I see what I did wrong. I added a turn for Delnadre instead of. Okay. Actually, let's just go to descending order and see how it plays it out. Okay, well, you redid it. We shifted some around. Levi, you're gonna go first. Then Lannis, then Farfrin, then Delnadre, then Bitte, then Gekaron, Helix, and Crux. So kind of just as you're shouting out, Bitte, Levi's going to react. So you have this person right there. How's the distance here?
I was gonna ask, is this really like 150 feet across?
I mean, it would make
Yeah.
sense for a courtyard.
Yes, it's a big courtyard. So
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, so we're making like a whole ass scene, like yelling across.
Yeah, you guys are basically yelling in this practically empty courtyard.
I mean, if it's empty, then
I say
you know
practically empty.
our raised inside voices are probably enough to make it echo enough for everybody to hear.
I feel like there's kind of like a wild west, like, oh shit's about to go down, like people, like parents like shooing children off the streets and shit.
Oh, you definitely hear like somebody stick their or see somebody stick their head out and like grab the rafters or the whatever you call those things outside the windows, and like close it shut, the shutters.
Oh my god, shutter is such a stupid word. I just realized.
Right?
What's the thing to shut the window? It's the shutter.
I mean, I'm not wrong, right? Like it is dumb. It's the right word.
The shutter, it's the same naming convention as shitter.
Yeah.
What do you do with it? You take a shit.
It's the thing you shit. It's the shitter.
All right. So, Levi, walk us through what's happening. Yeah, like it's definitely going to be it's a wide open area. They walked in kind of just from the edge, and it's either going to be rushing in or they're all equipped with longbows, but far in that's nearby it has a longsword out.
We're gonna have a good time. Levi is going to start off. He's got his greatsword out, and there's no time like the present to rip off your shirt. So we're gonna bonus action rage and rip that tarp right off. We're about to have a nice Donnybrook
tarp.
And so we're gonna use our bonus action to rage. So he swells up, those veins are popping out, and he just snarls at the courtyard in general, and he's going to pivot and move to attack Farfrin, who's the nearest. He sort of wants to step in between him and Commodore Crux to sort of eliminate any sort of attacks in that direction. And so he's going to step in between Farfrin and Commodore Crux. And I'm going to attack once with my greatsword. I am going to expend a superiority die to use a trip attack.
Okay.
So I'm going to attempt to attack his leg in an attempt to knock him down. So let's see. It's going to be 26 to hit.
That hits.
That's going to be 11 slashing damage plus an additional 1d8 of damage.
Okay.
8, so 19 slashing damage.
19. Oof.
For my
Does that
first
include
attack.
your damage from rage?
Plus 2. Oh, hold on. It does not. So plus 2 rage damage makes 21 damage total.
All right.
And I need him. Is he
make a?
Yeah, I need him to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Let's see here. Strength saving throw. Plus not proficient. So sorry, that says Rosemary, but it's actually the Astral Warrior. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a fail with a 2 there.
Okay, yeah, he is knocked prone.
Okay.
And seeing as how he's taken a good bit of damage, I think Levi is going to he's going to press his luck. And he is going to attack again using his extra attack.
Okay.
And so let me roll that great sword attack again, this time with advantage.
Yep.
19 to hit.
It hits.
And that is going to be 14 plus 2, 16 slashing damage.
16 slashing damage. Woo-wee. All right. You just like cut him down. Your first attack just kind of goes right, like you're doing a trip attack, so it's like the top of your his thigh, and just kind of slashing right across it with your great sword, right across both of the thighs, down through like his left kneecap, just obliterating it. And then when he's on the ground, you kind of just give him a follow-up stab through his back as he's like rolling around. You just stab his. Do you stab his leg again? Do you stab just at his chest?
I think if he's on the ground, it would sort of be like all in one movement, right? So he swings sort of parallel to the ground, connects with his legs and knocks his legs out from under him, and then on the back swing just brings the sword down on top of him.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, you just kind of like cut right into his belly, and he just screams out in Elvish, and it really gets things going. The scream almost echoes in this courtyard, and you hear just kind of like a silence follow it as people know shit is going down. Somebody's about to get murdered. In fact, it draws out. As we go to our next turn, it is going to draw out.
Hold on. Levi's going to continue pressing his advantage, and I'm going to action surge.
Okay.
I will attack a third time. So let me roll again with advantage. That is going to be a 27 to hit.
It hits.
And it's going to be 12 slashing damage.
Okay. Yeah, he's you describe this other attack as just like another like slice through.
Yeah, he's so boom.
Your action surgery.
Boom.
Are you gonna have a bonus action to follow? Are you gonna have another attack to follow up with it?
I will not, because I'm going to use another Battlemaster maneuver.
Okay.
So I, knock him prone, bring the sword back down, and then sort of like, now that I've got the sword like right at his level, I'm going to do like a jab, basically like stabbing it into his side, and in an attempt to sort of pin him to the ground. And I'm going to he's going to put his foot on top of him and like put his own weight on top of the guy, so he can't just stand up. And then I'm going to use a second Battlemaster maneuver. I'm going to use Commanding Strike, and I'm going to forego my last attack to allow Bitte to do an attack instead.
Right now?
Considering the position that he's in with the sword at his back, I want to give him an opportunity to sort of potentially find his way out of that.
Can you copy the text for Commanding Strike here? And then we'll go over to Bitte. So as this is happening, you draw out this long scream from Farvin as you just like really hurt him. Like, they're warriors, but I mean, what you did was just, I mean, cut him down to size. Lee and Braxton walk outside, and they just kind of like look in awe as there is already an astral elf warrior just bleeding on the ground. Your second stab makes its stomach, or its lungs kind of gurgle a little bit, and it starts just like blood just starts spewing out. Farfrin is down for the count. He's dropped his longsword, and as you're standing above him, he's not making any attempts to kind of struggle out. He's in pain and not dying, but
you know what? You are correct. I did not notice that it says use a bonus action to direct one of my companions to strike. I already used my bonus action to rage. So I will have to pocket that one. And use it at a future date. So instead of foregoing my last attack, I'm just gonna try to
just action surge. Action surge doesn't give you an extra bonus action, right?
No, it does not. Just an extra action.
Got it. Okay.
I wish it did. It'd be cool, but that'd be like 2 whole turns, basically.
Right.
But yeah, so only one bonus action, unfortunately. But instead of foregoing my last attack, I'm gonna go ahead and just use it to hopefully finish this guy off. And that way I'll be able to move on to the next. So we're going to go with one last greatsword attack at advantage. 24 to hit, 11 slashing damage.
That will take him out. He gurgles as you just kind of cleanly bring your greatsword, like you stab it into the ground and just like pull it and drag it as you cut across his throat. Really putting the emphasis of like the sparks flying as you pull your the tip of your greatsword through a good chunk of his flesh before it kind of catches on the bone and you pick it up into the air. Lannis, Helix, and Kekaron are, I will say, emboldened. You've slain their member, and they are ready to fight. So we're moving over here to Lannis, who is going to attempt to stab Bitte with his sword, longsword. He has it in both hands. He kind of like braces himself and is going to try to gut you with the first attack. But I mean, he doesn't, and then he'll bring it across after that one fails.
Yeah,
and try to
he
swing.
comes from the stab and like Beta like turns with the motion, like deflecting it off his like stony skin.
Yeah, and he comes back again, and whether I think do you kind of like just deflect it again, or do you just like strong arm like stop this blade in its place?
I think he probably swings like hard down onto Beta's shoulder, and Beta just looks like, oh, he's just like a really big fucking dude, and I'm just gonna cleave like down through the center of his chest and like cleaves down and slices into the cloak and through the cloak, and then like cleaves off just a bit and sees a chest plate like his own adorning as a trophy of this.
Yeah. That's gonna cause Lannis to call out and tell Helix, they're the ones. Look, his pauldrons, and gonna direct the attention to you, Bitte, and the now revealed Astral Elf armor. Delnadre, you are up as Lannis kind of shifts a little bit. He brings himself just around, to bring himself closer, bringing his back to Commodore Crux, but he wanted to bring things, I guess, further out from the prying eyes of the street, and more into the courtyard. So Delnadre, you're up to you.
I'm gonna kind of give Helix a little shrug, like, Al, what are you gonna do? And without taking my eyes off of him, shoot an arrow over at Hikarion, taking steady aim.
Nice.
I'm cool. I do things with
steady aim. Hit
panache.
Hikarion. What is the
natural 20?
Ooh. 18
So
damage?
that's a total of 36 damage.
Okay, I was like, that seems, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, so just like before, you blow out like half of his neck or something. This is like I feel like this is like that's drastic enough of an attack. You just like right in between the gap between his armor and his headpiece. Just your is it a bolt?
It's an arrow.
It's an arrow. So your short bow just kind of like bam. He wasn't even expecting it, as he's like already readied. He's like just has his eye on his prize, which is Commodore, which is actually it's you. And just this arrow kind of flies right down his vision, and before he can even see it, bam, right in his neck. He's like chokes his blood up a little bit, and he starts spitting, and he keels over a little bit, but he's still like he has a hand clamped to his neck now. What else do you do?
That's everything.
Okay. So yeah, he kind of drops his short bow a little bit, and he has his long sword out now, and he has his hand on his neck. Bitte, how are you gonna deal with this Lannis fellow, this jokester, thinking he could take you on?
Was I able to get the Zephyr Strike casting off before? Like is the motion
that'll be this turn.
That's happening this turn. Okay, so Beta bonus action Zephyr Strikes, and is basically going to. So he positioned himself on the other side.
Yeah, he moved away from the.
Okay.
Wait, you said can Bitte get out? Like to get through it?
Can Bitte get into the courtyard past this guy?
Yes, you'd be going more north towards Helix, but you could make your way around.
Okay, that works fine.
Yeah. So yeah.
Beta makes his way. I'll go ahead and make it a full 30 feet because why not? Up. Beta kind of like tucks and rolls with deceptive speed and grace for one his size. Size out of Lannis's range, and will make 2 attacks. The first one at advantage because of I don't remember what, but it's a ranger. It's the ranger thing that gives him advantage on initiative.
Okay.
I think
Sounds good.
He also advantage on his first attacks.
Right.
I will
Is it?
check that, but
I think it's the first attack of the combat, or it's the first attack of each person in a combat. But regardless, it's still going to apply here. So.
Yeah. As he makes a dart attack, let me make sure I have all the right things. I do 19 to hit.
All right, that hits.
For 20 damage on the first attack, and a 12 to hit on the second.
The first attack hits, you bury a dart just kind of like into his shoulder. He like and just he has to like, as his motion is to like rip it out almost instantly. Like after you hit it, he gets hit, he shifts back, he grabs the dart, he goes forward to do it, and that's just enough for him to just dodge right out from underneath your second attack, as that one does not hit. It kind of like clings off his shoulder or something, and he looks up at you with these wide eye, like, that fucking hurt. That hurt. Anything else for you, Bitte?
No, I think that's everything.
Okay, excellent. Did that one have the Zephyr Strike?
No, not the Zephyr Strike damage.
Okay, all right, you're saving that still.
Yes,
right.
Because
okay.
I feel like he's going to run into melee again.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. So we're over to Kikarion. He is going to make his way, hopefully, to Delnadre. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Yeah, I think get right to the middle of you with 30 feet. So he's gonna move forward, kind of like sluggishly, dragging his not moving quite as fast as he would, but he's determined. More of a this is a flight or fight, and he's decided to fight. He has his longsword in one hand. He's gonna make 2 attacks here against you, a 9 and an 8. What is happening?
Neither of those will hit me.
Okay, to be fair, have you fucking seen us in this first round of combat? I'd be fucking scared too.
Honestly, like, y'all just high teens, 20s, 2 crits, right? 2 crits, 1 crit.
No, I was
crit.
I rolled like a 24, a 27.
You murdered one person in one within 6 seconds or so.
Yes.
And the other one pretty much really hurt. So they are going to lumber forward a little bit, but they are unable to do anything. And we are over to Helix. He has his longbow. He looks to Bitte. He looks to Delnadre. He's going to toss a dice on which one to go after, because he is just like, shit. We're going to go with 1 for Del. And 1 it is. So we're going to do a multi-attack. We've got longbow. What the fuck?
Neither of those will hit me.
God damn it. Okay. And Helix is gonna let's roll insight here. Look at his wisdom. Is this a fight he should be sticking with? No. So he's gonna take his 30 feet and try to like step out. He's gonna start backpedaling. So he's taking these shots, fires off 2. Fires the first one, takes a couple steps back, fires the second one, still misses both times, and he's already going to be like, okay, yeah, this is not, don't want to do this. Commodore Crux, however, isn't going to let him get away without having to focus on Farin. He's going to move 30 feet or so, make sure he has a good line on Helix, and he is going to fire with his musket attack. So, does it have... No, just ignoring that. Let's try another. What city it goes? Nope, that's not his. Okay, and he tries trying this again. Aha! I hit one for 7. It's just not even like considerable. Anyways, we are back up to Levi. So it is at time, but considering how quick this is going, would y'all like to stay just 15 more minutes and see if we can knock this out?
I'm okay with that.
That's fine by me.
All right, keep going, Levi.
All right.
Should just take 2 more turns since you just murder somebody else on this turn.
I don't know. I think movement is going to get in my way here.
Yeah.
We'll see. So remind me, Kikarion is not looking good because he has a fucking arrow in his neck.
Yeah, arrow through his neck. So he is one hand. I would say if you could since you can get to Delnadre space, you can definitely get within melee range of Kikarion since he is melee attacking Delnadre. But yeah, has one hand on his neck, the other hand is kind of feebly holding on to his longsword. I mean, they're still like, that they have that extra oomph with the radiant green light that kind of like follows each of their attacks, but they have yet to fire anything. So, you kind of feel like you're feeling good in this fight.
Okay. I think here's what, and then what would if Levi moved sort of to the space like next to Delnadre and directly in front of Kikarion, would he be
Yep.
able to make that distance?
Yeah.
Then what would my distance be to Helix?
I mean, it's the distance. I'm kind of just giving you the option to shift your way around Delnadre, but for your distance to Helix, I mean, he's a dash and still 2 turns away. Like he's on the far side of this courtyard. Firing from, I don't want to say max range for their longbow, but what is it, 60 to 200?
Yeah.
It's like
300.
350 is the max.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, he's far away. Helix is far away, and he's moving away, 30 feet more than he was last time. So Kikarion is able to be attacked. Lannis would still take another turn or 2.
All right. So the distance from me to Helix now is about 140 feet.
Yep.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move adjacent, like right next to Delnadre.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to launch a javelin at Helix.
Okay. That works.
I'll make that attack since it's outside of standard range. I'll make it a disadvantage.
Yep.
But let's see how that goes. 15 to hit.
Just misses.
All right. And
just
then
misses.
I will still use my I'm going to use my whatchamacallit. I'm going to use my commanding strike, but I'm going to command Delnadre to get him to allow him to attack Kikarion using his reaction right now.
Okay.
And I'm going to burn my bonus action and one of my attacks to do that.
Okay.
And
so,
now I should be within 5 feet, so that should give him probably not advantage, but it'll give him sneak attack.
Sneaking.
Yeah. Like, I mean, right, because you get sneak attack anybody that's within 5 feet of an ally. So 11 does not hit.
Damn, let me down, man. Nah, it's all right.
And you are, so you moved over here, right?
Yes, I'm right there.
Okay. Yep. All right.
I'm also hoping that standing in front of him, maybe he attacks me instead of Dale.
Yeah. We shall see. I think he's gonna try to kill Dale because he was the one who shot him, but at the same time, he also did see you cut down Farfrin. So he does know that you are a pretty dangerous threat, but it feels like everybody in this is a threat. Lannis over here is gonna, like, he sees on the corner of his eye Helix is actually, let me just double check on that. Yeah, he does not see that Helix has started to move away, so he's just gonna focus again on Bitte. I need a sorry, wrong one. 19 and a 14 to hit.
19 will hit.
All right, so that is 15 slashing damage that he deals to you.
Beta will reaction stones in endurance to reduce that to ignore the force.
5. So
Reduce that
11.
by 5. So 11. It was 16 damage originally.
Yep. It's 6 slashing and 9 radiant.
So 15
Okay.
minus 5 is 10.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah, sorry. Not 11. Okay, so all right. So he gets to hit you twice, and seeing that Commodore Crux has moved in his general direction, he's gonna kind of like he's just. Let's see how his insight goes here. What's happening here? Nope, he's emboldened in his action. He knows you're bad, and he thinks that his allies will eventually succeed here. Let's go Delnadre. Unfortunately, if Lannis could only look around, he would see that he is so hopelessly outmatched.
Okay. Do you use flanking rules? Advantage from flanking and
Yes.
stuff like that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna slip behind Kikarian.
Mhm.
Just gonna
Go.
shoot and give him a good old stab in the back.
Go.
Yeah. He is hanging on by a thread. He has dropped his weapon. He is on his knees, so to speak, but he just barely has some life as you get him a good stab in his kidneys, twisting that blade.
How do you have so much HP?
Just barely. You've taken.
Are you dual wielding?
No,
Oh, no, you don't
not
have
with
the
a,
dual wielder feat, do you?
yeah, not with a rapier.
Okay.
He just needs a spare
Uh,
dagger.
No, they both have
Well.
to be light unless you have the dual wielder feat.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then they don't have to be light, so you can dual wield rapiers as long as they have the finesse tag.
Right, yeah. Okay. So yeah. So he's on this feat. Kikarian is could be considered a non-combatant at this time.
Okay,
Day.
then I'll consider him a non-combatant. Hey, I didn't say my turn was over, you
Oh,
bitch.
my bad.
Man
Go
still
back.
has a bonus action.
Movement is really hard to figure out on this thing.
Such a large map, yeah.
But I use like probably like 5 feet to duck behind this guy. I'm going to use the rest of my movement, and I'm going to bonus action dash to I don't know. What can I get over like here to where I can see Helix?
Yeah. Would you?
Okay, then I'll just be there.
Yeah, we'll say like you're maybe 5 feet or so away from him because he's a little bit back into the alleyway there. But yeah, you rush over there and you feel a good sensation from Tansy. He has found Rosemary in the back of a very dark and creepy feeling shop.
I'm a little busy at the moment.
The Tansy bell is like ring 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 ring. I have an update. Bitte, your turn.
Okay, Beta will roll back 30 feet, rolling the whole way. It's real uncomfortable to watch him reverse Sonic. Now he kind of like dives. So from like the second strike that misses, Beta like dives backwards and like tucks that into like a little like handspring against the ground, and then back up onto his feet. And as he's like moving through the air because it's all happening simultaneously.
Right. Yeah.
He bonus action. He shakes out his wrist with all of his bracelet with all of the raw crystals and stones and gems on it, and summons the planar warrior effect. And so I got that. Yeah, I got that on there. And will lash out with 2 more darts at Lannis.
Okay.
Missing both, it seems.
Yes, it will hit both. It will miss both. So you continue rolling. very effective for keeping everyone on their toes, but unfortunately, Lannis has kind of gone into more of a defensive maneuvers and is doing his best to try to dodge those. Not it's keeping him as preoccupied as possible, and so he's doing his best. Did I skip him? Did I skip Lannis? Did he already act this turn?
No, he attacked me.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's right.
he
Okay,
went
yeah,
in
you
between
moved
me and
away.
Del.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kikarion is up. He is a non-combatant. He's going to forgo his turn as he's just going to give up and surrender. Helix is going to take some steps back and will fire its longbow as it's continuing to backpedal. 2 on Delnadre, a 20 and an 11
The 20 hits.
for 19 damage. Yeah, he's just gonna kind of do his best. Unless you dash, he's gonna kind of keep pacing outside. Commodore Crux is gonna turn to Lannis and is going to give 2 muskets here. 1, 2. Both are gonna miss. Fortunately, he's gonna give up. He's like, screw this. And he's gonna walk forward and have his longsword in his hand, so he can kind of keep Lannis's preoccupied. Levi, back up to you.
Yeah, I think Levi's gonna look at Kikarion and he's gonna be like, "Don't move," and then he is going to run swiftly in the direction of this building here. And as he does so, he's going to activate his Radiant Soul.
Okay.
And instead of going, this direction and then down the alley, he's going to try to cut Helix off by flying over the buildings.
Okay.
Before Helix can run away. So he's going
How
to
much space do you
do that.
Movement do you have when you dash with your flight?
It's the same as my my movement speed, so it would be 60.
So it's not really, most of the buildings here are multiple stories, but you can definitely kind of like fall over these front shacks or be smaller.
Yeah,
just one story.
I can probably move to about right about here.
Yeah, I would
Like
say I'd put yourself kind of like right there in the middle, like floating in the air.
Yeah.
So like right
Yeah,
here.
fine. That works. Yep.
You don't have a clear sight on Helix, but he's just right over this building.
Yeah, sounds good. And so with that, my rage is going to drop. But we're good there. And then my hope is that I can catch him on the other side of the building, and sort of stop him from going anywhere.
Okay. So Lannis once again is going to roll perception here. Stop. 5. So still does not quite notice what is happening with the other people. He sees that Kikarion is down. He thinks Helix is just right around the corner. He's going to look at Commodore Crux and just, two-handed longsword. We are going to hit Crux both times for quite a bit of damage. 19 plus 22 equals 41.
It does, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Commodore Crux gets just hurt. Good chunk of his he takes 2 of these attacks. The sword's not so much of the damage as the radiant, like the burning. He grunts, and you can see like you can see big splotches of blood just kind of like hit the ground below him as these cut in, make it bleed, and then the radiant follows quickly behind. Delnadre.
All right. So I'm assuming Helix is like 35 feet away from me because,
Yeah,
you know,
he's just
he
outside
was
of
5
range.
feet away.
All it
and then
needs is a dash
moved.
to catch back up with him.
Rather than do that, I'm going to reach up and touch the little like Kalashtar crystal that I turned into a necklace.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And my hand will glow with like a little soft green light. And I'll supercharge a mage hand to appear behind him, grab like a piece of like roofing tile or something, and chuck it at his head as I cast a catapult.
Okay. Yeah.
So he has
That
to make a
is-
DC 14 dexterity save for 10 bludgeoning damage.
He
Wow, he
dodges
makes it.
The only thing he's done. Is it a half damage if he saves,
No,
or
I
is it
think
an
it's
all
just
or
an
nothing?
all or nothing.
All right. So.
Uh,
and then are you still walking?
Yeah.
All right. So
In
he.
fact, I'll go ahead and I'll use my bonus action to dash to get around behind him.
Okay. So you kind of dash acrobatically. You kind of make the way, find some space. You chuck the tile. He kind of like he doesn't hear it coming, but he sees it just the last second and dodges out of the way, giving you just enough time to like sneak around him and stop him in his tracks. The back of you is in the street. You notice as you come into the street that there are people looking at what's happening here, especially with the loud crash of the street tile. But you also notice that people are more than willing to just continue and let things happen on their own. Let's see here. Braxton and Kakarian are going to walk over, or Braxton and Lee are going to walk over to Kakarian, and Delnadre, if it is done, we're going to go over to Bitte. So
It is done.
It is up, or is done. Bitte.
All right, Bitte is going to, seeing Commodore Crux get rocked like that, is going to be like, "Argh!" but he takes heart in Delnadre getting on the other side of that guy, so he's not going to get away. Bitte is going to trigger the. He's going to bonus action Planar Warrior, trigger the Zephyr Strike. Extra damage and make an attack with advantage on this dude, and then a regular attack as well. Will a 14 hit?
14 does not hit.
Okay, does the Zephyr... Let me double check the Zephyr Strike. Is the Zephyr Strike damage only if that attack hits, or on one attack? The attack deals. Okay, that attack deals. Okay, never mind. The second attack will hit, I assume, with a
Yes.
18 with a 19 for 17 damage.
17 damage. Okay. So we are down to this much. All right. Another heavy dart kind of just pierces through his leg and kind of gets him stuck where he is. He pulls it out, but he's hobbled and isn't looking to get away from this fight. Ted, do you want to do anything else before move on to them?
What is Crux fighting with?
He has a long sword now. He had two muskets that he kind of like threw to the side and has now pulled out his sword because he couldn't hit shit.
Okay, Crux or Bito will then come back around so Crux can get flanking on his attacks.
Okay, yeah. All right, well done. So Helix is going to dash away into trying to get into the crowd that we've talked about. Has just been like kind of just as always there. So we're gonna kind of just get out of here. He's gonna do his best, but he's not gonna avoid an attack of opportunity. So if you want to swing and have whatever you have to stop him.
Down.
Well, unfortunately, no sneak attack in this situation. But I'll go for the rapier hit. Yeah.
Nice. That hits. You cause him a good what was your attempt here with your rapier? Just to stab him as he's going? Were you trying to stop him? Were you trying to maybe even do something to help find him later?
If he's just kind of like rushing past, I'm gonna like just sort of try and go for. You can't really hamstring someone with a piercing weapon, but I'll just kind of like try and stab into his calf,
Okay.
slow him
Uh,
down.
Get
Yeah,
that
at
Achilles.
the very least, it's gonna help track him because he's moving and his calf's gonna be bleeding the whole time, from a nice poke. So we'll go to Commodore Crux, and then we are gonna let's see if you can finish this off. 2 miss.
He has
Doing
advantage.
Yeah, even with it. Oh no, he hits the second time. 14 on Lannis. To deal or sorry, he hits for 21 to deal 14. Lannis is nearly down, but he still has some energy to him. All right, Levi. So start of your turn. Helix has made it past Delnadre. Lannis is still on his last legs, is still up, and Kakarian has given up. What we doing here?
Can I see Helix or no?
If you were to get to the top, you would be able to probably pick him out from the crowd. But as you get closer and try to like land on, he's still, I don't think you're going to be able to get to him. So it's gonna after this is, I mean, because you still have to go. You could cut through here. So say you go 30 here, 22 here. Now he's still just outside of your reach to be able
Remember,
to reach you.
I'm flying above the.
Right, but you still have to go up and then go back down because he's back at.
I have to go up again.
Yeah, so these buildings right here on the inside are 1 story, but the whole outer ring is like a 2-story. You can slip through the middle here, but because you're not going directly above, I mean, it's still gonna be the same thing. But even with 60, I mean, if you draw yourself straight from middle to him, you're still 80 feet away.
Would you allow me to dash and then let myself drop in an attempt to grapple him if I took damage on the fall? Like
Yes.
literally flap
Yes,
my
I
wings
would.
as
I
fast
will.
as
I will
fucking
allow you to
possible.
basically create a catapult after yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna do a strength. So you're gonna fly up. You see him. You see him in the crowd. You're basically gonna be crashing into him. I want a strength check. Strength check is your attack, basically.
Yeah,
Just a
could he-
pure strength, 1d20 plus strength,
Okay.
as you orient yourself to kind of like flap your wings one last time. Strength or dexterity? I mean, I'll let you
Crash
do
into him.
dexterity if you wanted to, but I'm sure strength is good for you.
They're both decent, but I do strength over.
Yeah,
And you would have advantage on a strength check.
My rage dropped.
He lost his rage, unfortunately.
Oh, you.
I didn't.
didn't-
I wasn't able to attack on my last turn.
If he had punched Kakarian to death, he probably could have kept his rage.
Yeah, but
going.
he had already surrendered, and that's not who Levi is. We know
Gotcha.
this.
Yeah.
You could rage again.
I could rage again as a bonus action, and then I
Yeah.
get advantage. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll burn my other rage.
All right. So you get to the top of your apex. You see your target. You start whatever you need, and you rage and do that one
Absolutely
last
just-
like.
But yeah, just like absolutely pump my wings as fast as I can in an attempt to just slam into him. And here's my
Okay.
strength with advantage, 21.
All right. So that's good. Yeah. You fly. But not really gonna be dodging it. He's kind of hobbling through the streets after that last
Like,
attack here.
slamming into his back, giving him that like whiplash, like.
Okay. So let's see. A 2-story building is how tall?
Did you tell me? I assume it's like
Probably about
30
30
feet.
30 feet. Okay. Given where you had to go, you flapped up and gave yourself. You had to go a bit higher, I'm sure, to try to get the good angle going. So we'll do 3d6, so 40 feet. Or is it 46?
Which would be 46, yeah.
It's 46. Okay, so yeah, it's just okay, got it. It's 46 for you and him, and then we need an athletics check to see how well you recover from this.
Alright,
If you
you want
both
me to
fail,
roll
you'll
the
just
46?
Yes, I'll let you roll the 46.
There you go. Do I get to add a little 2 rage damage to that?
Sure.
All right, so he'll take 16 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
I'll take 7.
All right, so he rolls a 19 for his athletics. So your athletics is you hit him, you collapse, you both kind of go tumbling. This is kind of just his ability of like, is he going to be able to get back up and see what's happening? Actually, I want to roll a dexterity for this for acrobatics, so I'm just giving him a 20 instead of a 19.
So I have advantage on my athletics check.
Mm-hmm.
It's dog shit. 13.
All right, so you deal a good amount of damage to him. You kind of just like slam him into the ground. You both bounce. The crowd has kind of formed a circle now, and he is he's just like, what the fuck just happened? And he kind of gets up. He draws his blade again. He looks at you. You're still on the ground, however, and he's. I mean, does he want to fight? Does he want to give up? Let's roll an insight. Is he gonna stick and fight, or if he's gonna, kind of duck and run again?
Yeah, does he think he can take me?
He does. He does think he can take you. He doesn't see Delnadre. The crowd has formed a circle around, so he's just kind of like this, like more of like a haughty insult. Like you dare to attack me? Let's
Stick
go to
around,
Alanis.
big boy.
Let's go to Alanis. He's gonna do a quick little attack at Bitte now. 21. Does that'll hit for 16?
Yep.
And Delnadre, you are here. Levi, you're here over here.
Yeah.
And you took 16 damage.
So is Helix prone or
He's back on his feet,
okay?
but he is turned and is like ready to attack Levi. He's not running anymore.
And
The
Levi
fa-
just chuckles on the ground, and he is like, Levi's on his back on the ground, and he's looking at Helix, who's rolled to his feet, and Levi just laughs in his rage, and he's like, "You are a coward and a fool, and you will die here."
Helix just kind of he smiles, looking down upon you. It is you who will die. These people will look upon your blood and know that the Zarxian Empire is not to be truffled with. Delnadre, roll me perception. Do you get a good look at Helix as you are kind of peeking through the crowd? Roll it with advantage. Perfect.
Slightly better.
Slightly better. So yeah, you get like it's shifting, but you have like almost like a over the shoulders kind of view to be able to hit Helix. He does not see you. You are hidden from him.
Okay. Well, then if I'm hidden, I have advantage. I don't even need to take steady aim, but I will.
Yeah.
And right as he says his little snarky one-liner, my arrow flies through the air, and it doesn't hit him.
Oh, damn.
Or unless a 15 hits. No, I think a 15 just
No,
missed.
15 does not hit. It just misses. Okay. It flies over. He ducks a little bit. He's looking to the crowd. He's going to see if he can see you. He does. He kind of locks eyes with you, and he's just like, I know where you are. And he kneels down a little bit so that your view from over the crowd
let's do
is...
this. As a bonus action, I'm going to attempt to hide among the crowd.
Let's go.
Okay. Yeah.
What does he see, Tori? What does he see?
He misses. He loses you again in the crowd.
And I'm gonna weave my way through the people and move just kind of like.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Bita, do you try to finish off Lanus, or do you want to force him to surrender?
Beta is going to pull out the morning star from the priestess, and say, you die with more honor than your comrades, and is going to take 2 swings at him with advantage from flanking.
Yep. So he puts his hand up as he turns around. He's trying to defend himself. Swing away, Bitte. Swing away, Bitte.
Man's about to get that good brain.
I didn't throw Morningstar on here, so I'll do the Durgar Warhammer.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You gave in his skull.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, with
with the first
with
one, the
8.
second one for good measure. Actually, I guess you don't technically have to use the second one if you have something you can walk into the street and try to make a shot at Helix. It'll be very difficult. You might hit. I don't know how your range goes, but it's 150 feet if you were to walk 30 feet into the alleyway.
That's
30 feet to the alleyway.
Actually,
I'm
it's
getting some
120.
echo. I don't know from who though.
I think it's coming from Bitte.
getting what now?
A little bit of echo.
Yeah, it always seems to be mine. I don't know how the fuck to fix that, because it's just that it's speakers being speakers. I don't know how to isolate it.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, it's hit or miss because sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So
It's just it's really weird. I think it's more like a connection thing.
Yeah, I don't think I can. Or well, no, I guess I have. So if I get just barely into the alley, how far is that? Within 120? That is within 120. So Beta will cave in his skull and then run down this alley, look, see Helix, and is going to for the second attack, it will be a javelin instead.
All right, so it's going
notice
to be with
send this man to the Olympics.
piercing.
It will not hit. But Levi and Del see it.
No. It would be the 24.
Oh,
the 24.
because gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah.
because
Because it's already rolled.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So you run out, you jump up, you get a good little like a little bit of height, and you just kind of like, I mean, you're a skilled hunter here. You know how to arc something to make it hit, and you just kind of chuck it over the heads of the crowd. And before Helix can even like react, this dart just kind of comes in and just lodges in his like front leg, the one he had like kind of just standing and bracing himself, and he just screams out as he gets hit with it's the javelin damage, right? But the other roll, so 14.
It's just 8. The ignore the planar warrior because that's only one attack.
All right. So it takes 8 damage.
And as he streaks out in pain, Beta roars out to like match over it.
All right.
In rage.
Helix is going to rip the dart out and run because he tried to turn around and fight y'all, and yet out of nowhere things are just lobbing over the corner. He's gotten shot at. He's just gonna, I mean, hell, like he can't. He's, you know what? Let's see here. He turns around. He looks around. The crowd isn't gonna let him pass. If he tried to back up, he wouldn't really even like be able to move through. As the sentiment for them kind of like starts to turn sour as they see. I mean, they recognize who it is and what y'all are doing. So he without an ability to get out, he's going to turn and 2 attacks on Levi, who is on the ground. So a 21 and a 12. 23 damage to Levi.
A 21 will hit. I'm raging, so I'll take half slashing damage, and I have resistance to radiant. So I will take half of that damage.
So, well, there you go. So that is 23 rounded up 12. 12 damage to you.
5 and then 7 would be 12. Yeah. So.
All right, Levi, stand up, finish us off, send us out.
All right, sounds good.
What are you gonna do? Yeah. How are you gonna deal with Helix in the middle of these? Like, I mean, the crowd is watching y'all.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to like pivot and just push himself up so that he's standing like just right in front of Helix, and he's going to like drag his greatsword across the ground and attack for like going from down to up, using another trip attack in an attempt to like take his legs out from under him and just put him on his ass.
Okay.
So let me drop another superiority dice. Let me make my greatsword attack, not with advantage this time. 25 to hit.
That hits. Yeah.
It's going to be 12 slashing damage plus 2 rage damage is 14, and then
Mhm.
1d8 for my superiority die. 1, so 15 slashing damage, and I need
Okay.
him to make a strength save.
Strength save. All right, here we go. Makes an 11. He
That
drops.
fails.
He drops prone.
He's on his ass, right? How's he
Uh,
looking?
He, you kind of like cut him. He's bleeding, but at the same time, his demeanor is like he's gonna fight to the end. He shows no sign of surrendering. He's gonna kill himself, or kill you. And if he has to, he's gonna make sure his life is ended here. Because yeah, it's almost like a mixture of just shame that he made the jump on you and y'all just obliterated his crew.
We've seen the Astro Elves do commit suicide, right? Instead of being captured.
You've seen them push their fight to the death, yeah.
Okay.
Like you gave him an out and they chose not to.
Okay, yeah. In that case, if that's the expectation, then yeah, he is going to go ahead and try to finish this off. Ooh, I still have my Radiant Soul up, so he should actually have also taken on that last attack, it should have been 6 radiant damage. I don't know if
okay.
he's resistant.
That's everything he needs to pop.
Okay.
He your radiant damage just kind of sizzles him, and he just, as he's dying, just says, this won't be the last time we find you. And then just his mouth's just like almost like burning from inside as your cut just kind of goes through him.
Levi,
and that's that.
Levi wipes his blade on a part of Helix's attire that is not blood soaked, and sheaths it over his shoulder. And he's got his glowing wings out, and his eyes are glowing, his veins are popping, and he looks at the crowd and he says, "Show's over! Move along!"
The crowd reacts, just like, "Oh, okay, yep," and just walks away. They leave the Astral Elf in the street, but
someone in the crowd starts a slow clap. It's me.
Levi
just one person
smiles at
clapping.
Delnadre, and he'll drop Radiant Soul, he'll drop Rage, and then he's just gonna grab Helix by the ankle and drag him back to the courtyard.
Okay, yeah, because if you didn't do it, somebody else was gonna come and pick up his body. So you drag him back. We are all going back into the courtyard here. You have one prisoner, although Braxton and Lee have kind of been roughing him up, and he's a bit unconscious right now. And
yeah,
Levi
would cut that shit off because he wants that prisoner for interrogation.
Okay, yeah, and Commodore Crux recommends, yes, like, okay, let's look how quickly we were found in this city. Grab him and let's go. We can't leave him behind. We can take him to my ship. We can get off the rock. Looks like our revolution has begun. And that's what we're going to call the session.
Hell yeah.
So, well done, y'all. We are going to have to pick up next time with Rosemary and whatever she's been doing. We know that Tansy knows where she is, so at the very least, it'll be a very quick resuming back onto the track and of where we're going with Commodore Crux, getting onto his ship, and just starting Viva la Revolution. So, I hope you all have enjoyed today's session. We are Everybody's a Mimic, an actual play 5th edition podcast, which started playing Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, and has now shifted into a Spelljammer jaunt before we resume and finish up our Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, and foiling the attempts of what's her name? I forgot her name. Oral, and the Everlasting Winter, which just doesn't seem as pressing as it had been before. Yeah. I am Corey. I am your dungeon master. I was joined by 3 of our cast members. Let's go around, say goodbye, and we'll leave you to go on about your day.
Same order we introduced ourselves in. Go.
I've been Carson playing Beat the Yeti Mated. Goodbye.
I'm Ben playing Levi Corvallis. Have a good one.
I'm Blake playing Delnadre Miracos. Love you. Bye bye.
Bye
Love you,
bye,
bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.